One.
Five 1v1 tournament. My name is EPG, and in the casting booth joining me today will be Rez. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. This is going to be a really exciting bracket. The 12 top 1v1 players in all of Ireland going to be facing off to crown our champion, and I'm really looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. I mean, taking a look at the bracket, we've got some juicy lineups coming into it. Do you want to maybe talk about who do you think you are looking out for mostly in this bracket? Who do you think is going to really take it to the end?
Yeah, there are some really top 1v1 players in here. We've obviously got our sort of ineffable, who's looking to sort of instate his dynasty in the 1v1 scene in Ireland. He was the champion in season 5, the champion in season 4. He's looking to make it back to back to back here in season 6. We've also got Rob Kiernan, an RLCS main event player, and he had that ripped away from him in season 4. He threw away the 2-goal lead in the grand final. Neffel took that one, and he's going to be looking to bring back dominance. But we've also got another couple of top 1v1 players in here. The other gatekeepers, Shallow, Yem, and Colin, all looking to make their mark, with Yem making it to the grand final last time, and Yem and Colin together on a team winning in the last WRS. So we have a stacked bracket here today, and we'll be getting things started fairly shortly, EPG, with our first match, Jaffa versus D Lynch, and it's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be a bit of a toss-up. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I mean, looking at these two players, D Lynch is actually somebody who I've faced off against in other 1v1 tournaments. He's definitely a player that likes to kind of play off what he sees. He doesn't have too much of a game plan. He's kind of tries to play as much as he can based off the other person's mistake. Jaffa is a person I haven't seen too much in the 1v1 side of things. I have seen him playing in 3v3 standard mode quite a lot from other external places. But, you know, he does seem to be one of those players that definitely will take it to D Lynch. And I have to say, I'm looking forward to seeing this game. It is a best of one, so there is not much room for error for both of these players. But coming into this first game, it's definitely going to be a saucy one.
For sure. I mean, on paper, I think I would certainly put Jaffa in for that one, but it's difficult because obviously Jaffa he lost in the first qualifier to Jenga Benga, and obviously Jenga Benga is particularly good in 1v1s, but again, Jaffa is a player that you would expect to be taken out. So the fact he lost, that sort of makes me a little bit dubious as to how he's going to perform. And D Lynch is definitely going to be wanting to seize his opportunity to make his way to the quarterfinals. The winner of this will be playing Ineffable. So that will be another really difficult match for whoever wins this. But I think we're definitely going to be looking at Jaffa as arguably the favourite for this one. But make sure to get your predictions in. John will be setting up some predictions in the Twitch channel, so make sure to get your channel points in on that. We'll be getting into this series in about 2 minutes. Just as a bit of an overview for the rest of the bracket, we have Jaffa against D Lynch. That's the series that we're going to be looking at very shortly. The series of Panda versus Rob Kin, and that one won't be going ahead as Panda isn't here today. Then we've got the two sort of unknown quantities here in this bracket. Oh, Danny Boy against Tomster. Neither of those two players playing in RLI tournaments prior to this, so it'll be a very interesting dynamic to see how those two end up facing off. And then Spectre versus Mayday, and that'll be another interesting match. Mayday, a veteran of the RLI scene, he's going to be looking to try and rekindle some of the magic because he hasn't had the best results recently. And those were our sort of first round matchup. And EPG, I just want to hear what you sort of think is going to be happening in this first match, obviously with the best of one dynamic that you mentioned. Who do you really think is going to take this game?
I mean, it's going to be tough to judge because, as I said, I aforementioned, Jaffa is not quite a person. We did see him losing to Jenga Benga, who you might have backed him to win it. He might be a bit more of a three-space player, and in the 1v1 scene, he does seem to be a bit out of his depth. But D Lynch is somebody that I have previously seen. I know he's well capable of competing with some of these top teams. I have seen him winning some 1v1 tournaments externally from RLI. But, I mean, one fact that I also want to mention is the winner of this game will play against Ineffable, so even if they are winning this game, they'll be kind of have that in the back of their mind that they'll be playing against a much better opponent regardless of what happens in that one. Especially looking at the rest of them, we've got Danny Boy and Tomster. As you said, we haven't seen much of them previously, and the winner of that will be facing against Yem, who definitely is up on the top tier of the 1v1 scene. But you know, coming into this game, it's going to kick us off with things in this tournament, but I do think that D Lynch will have the edge in this one. He seems a little bit more practice in the 1v1 areas, and I do think that he might have a bit of an edge on him here.
Yeah, we'll be getting into this one momentarily. D Lynch going to be looking off to pull off this upset. Really excited to see how not just this game, but this whole bracket pans out. And today we will be crowning our 6th 12 Titans champions. We've had a couple before, obviously Mug. I'm trying to remember all the 12 Titans off my head, but Ineffable with 2. I believe Mug has 1. Red Eyes as well. And we're going to get into this one. EPG, take us away.
Yeah, immediately we're going to get kicked off here. The kickoff is definitely something that is overlooked quite a lot in 1v1. The person with the better kickoff seems to be the one that has a bit more of a foothold in the game. But Jaffa already getting the boost management on this right-hand side, trying to take his time, maybe look to get a flick on D Lynch. He doesn't have much boost to his name. He has a shot here, Jaffa, as he gets it back into the corner, still keeping control of this ball, using all the boost to make sure that D Lynch is starved. No possession or boost at any stage in this game already for D Lynch, as he does get a touch back into the corner. He's got a bit to work where he does get a nice little flick over the top of Jaffa, looking to get a demo as well for his efforts, but unfortunately not connecting on this one. 30 seconds gone already. We see Jaffa coming back with the exact same attack that he went for last time. Bit of a 360 attempt there, as D Lynch going to look to capitalize on this one. He does have the flick past him the first time around, but Rez, he just doesn't quite manage to have it. All the boost management seems to be in favor of Jaffa, and a lovely flick from him. He sends it straight over the top of D Lynch and opens up the score in 50 seconds in.
That was a lovely little play by Jaffa, taking it all the way from his own sort of back wall, all the way into D Lynch's net in just a matter of seconds, and D Lynch caught out with the fast flick, and Jaffa going to open up the game.
Beautiful way to start off the affairs in this best of one. As we have mentioned previously, there's not much room for error for either of these candidates as they look to make the most of it. D Lynch not quite getting the touch he was looking for, as Jaffa's going to be powering down the centre of the pitch, looking to put him off with a bump here, but D Lynch sends it right back at him, brings it up into the corner as Jaffa gets bumped for his efforts, and D Lynch will collect this corner boost. Another 50 coming out here. It's definitely going to be something that will be featured plenty in these matchups, is those 50-50s. It's all so important to keep yourself grounded enough and make sure that no prospect of a counter-attack is available. A minute 30 gone here, Rez. Quite a quiet start. It's not as many goals as you might see in a usual contemporary game of 1v1, but both players really seem to be settling down quite nicely in this matchup.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of little mistakes from both players, perhaps some early tournament nerves, as D Lynch is going to pick up the demo, and it's that physical play that we see quite often from him that really sets him apart from some other players. But as we've seen there, Jaffa seems to have caught him out, and he's going to be making it too. Yeah,
that's exactly what Jaffa would have wanted. He got demoed, but D Lynch just couldn't quite sort himself out, found himself rather awkward, and when he went for the flick, Jaffa straight into his face with a 50 all the way down Route 1 and doubles the lead that he worked ever so hard for in the start of this game. D Lynch finding himself with a bit of a hill to climb here. 2 minutes gone, not quite as much as maybe he would have expected coming into this game. But 2 minutes gone here, and Rez, Jaffa really showing that that previous loss in previous tournaments is really not having an effect on him.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's going to put in a third as well, and D Lynch, he's in real trouble now. In a best of one tournament like this, you cannot afford to go behind in this way, and he's got 3 minutes, still plenty of time, but he's going to need to start this road to recovery fairly soon.
Absolutely. We haven't had too much of the time being taken away. Still plenty of time for D Lynch to try and make a comeback. He's got, in theory, mathematically, a minute per goal to come back, but when you got kickoffs like that, it's not going to work out in your favour, as Jaffa really taking control of this game.
Jaffa has taken this game by the scruff of the neck now. 3 goals all in quick succession, and D Lynch looking to be sort of not quite down and out, but looking like he's faltering a little bit early on, conceding a kickoff goal. But there is still time, EPG, and D Lynch, he's going to need to start that soon.
Yeah, he really needs to get an early goal in. The first goal from D Lynch yet to be found here in this first game of the tournament, as Jaffa biding his time here, waiting for D Lynch to make a move. Unfortunately, this time round doesn't quite manage to get the 50. Is in the background there, making D Lynch second guess everything he does. He's got all the control in this game. D Lynch goes up early for this one, looking for a 50, but he's well being out by Jaffa, who also gets sent back into his own territory. As D Lynch now looking for a Cookseer pinch. If that one had came off, it would have definitely been a bit of a momentum booster for him. A fake coming out from Jaffa. The confidence really rolling for him. A backflip from D Lynch. He really seems to be shaky. He does get a demo for his efforts here, but unfortunately, he will be respawned by the time he comes back. And Rez, D Lynch really looks shaken right now.
Jaffa's just speed and his ability to just ball chase the ball so precisely is what's got him so many goals here. But D Lynch is going to claw one back, and it's the start to a long road of recovery. But if Jaffa can keep up his ball chasing, I could easily see him putting in a few more. But D Lynch, he's going to need to shore up that defense and get a couple more goals if he wants to get himself back in contention in this best of one.
Absolutely, D Lynch reducing the deficit to merely 3. Still has 2 minutes left on the clock to make up for the mistakes previously made in the start of this game. He cannot stress enough that this best of one is going to be so hard to come back from, especially when you've only got 2 minutes left to do everything here. Jaffa gets a 50 with D Lynch. He's going to send it all the way down into the blue corner. Not much boost left for Jaffa, but he does manage to get back in time. A pinch comes across the net, not quite having any kind of an angle for D Lynch to take a shot there. Got 90 seconds left here. D Lynch looks to get a second. Jaffa making himself an absolute nuisance here in the corner, making sure that nothing gets past him easily enough. He has got all the control. He just seems to be a lot more comfortable on the ball, Rez, and everything he does just seems to be so much nicer to look at.
D-Lynch seems to have sort of begun to lose hold of this game. He's unable to really get any sustained pressure. Lots of the shots he seems to have are the sort of pot shots, and Jaffa's making fairly comfortable saves. And the time is just ticking down with D-Lynch not really be able to get much out of this game. And it looks like he may be down and out with that demo.
Yeah, a minute left now. He's still finding himself with only one goal to the tally as Jaffa just sends it straight back over his head. Every one of these clearances is going to take a massive chunk out of the time. The demo as well, really trying to get on the nerves of D-Lynch here as he just looks to keep the possession of the ball. He has got a bit in Jaffa's head there, waiting for him to take that challenge, but he's only got 40 seconds. He really needs to make a move and do it quickly. Jaffa going to take this one all the way back to the corner, and just that contemporary style of 1v1, just making sure that the time runs out quickly enough. It's a lovely flick from Jaffa, and that looks to be the final nail in the coffin as D-Lynch really looks down and out now.
This was a lovely little play by Jaffa. Just the first flick and then quickly for a second one, just catching D-Lynch off with the speed and aggression of the play, and he's able to knock in the fifth, and with 26 seconds, that is going to be it. And we're going to be seeing Jaffa advancing to that quarterfinal where he'll face off against Ineffable.
Yeah, he just seems to be playing this game so much better than D-Lynch. We see the frustration coming out there from him, going for another one. Jaffa not even going to bother to score. He's got 15 seconds after play. There's no need for him to score another one. Might as well get things done in quick fashion. D-Lynch will get a consolation, but 8 seconds left, and the rest doesn't really look like he's going to get 3.
No, it's highly, highly unlikely, if not impossible. And D-Lynch, he put up a fairly good fight, but he just got caught out by the speed of Jaffa at times. Jaffa able to just get those extra little touches that D-Lynch wouldn't expect. Maybe D-Lynch shadowing a little bit too close to the play, and he suffered for it. And obviously with this whole bracket being best of ones, you can't recover, you can't realise what you're doing wrong, and you've got to react sort of quickly to the situation, and he hasn't been able to do that, and Jaffa will advance through the bracket.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Jaffa. Well worked through that one. He will go on to face Ineffable in the next round. But D-Lynch won't be too happy with the way he played there. I have to say, I was expecting a little bit more of a grasp from him. But as I said, he does have a little bit of a kind of play style that plays off the opponent's mistakes. And when he wasn't quite being as clinical as Jaffa seemed to have brought to the table, it really just proved to go against him in that game.
Yeah, I expected D-Lynch to put up maybe a little bit more of a fight. He seemed to get inside his head after that first 3 goals, particularly that kickoff goal. He'll really be kicking himself with that one. Jaffa has fairly good kickoffs, but D-Lynch should be matching him on those. And with Jaffa taking the series, I think D-Lynch, he's going to be happy with the fact that he's made the top 12. That probably was his goal going into this. Obviously, he needed that that third qualifier to make it through. Obviously, Kian wasn't able to attend the fun event, so we had a third qualifying bracket. He made it through there, so he'll be happy to make it here. But with him getting taken down in the first round to Jaffa in relatively convincing fashion, I think it'll be a case of what could have been for D-Lynch. He'll be maybe thinking whether he could have put up a decent fight against Ineffable. Maybe he could have bagged a couple of goals against him, but that's his run over, and it with Jaffa moving through into the quarters.
Well, deservedly so. We've just seen that kind of overwhelming playstyle from Jaffa, just making sure that every time he scored a goal, that it just kind of got in his head. He was running around the park all day long. We've seen immediately from the start. We got the boost managers. We took, I'd say, around 4 100 boost pads in the space of 20 seconds. Like, just really leaving D-Lynch with no other option than to challenge. And those little flicks that he has so well down to a T, it's just really going to be so hard to defend for somebody like D-Lynch, who tries to play off what he sees for the most part. But coming into this next game, I do believe that we have a game missing now. We have a bit of a break as Panda will not be here to attend this next game against Rob Kiernan. But I mean, just looking at the rest of the bracket, we see the first game going down, the best of one. I cannot stress enough how much of a factor that's going to have on the bracket. I'm sure D-Lynch is more used to playing in these kind of best of 3, best of 5 situations where he can settle down in that first game, find out how to play against the opponent, and just kind of the opposite of what he had there.
Yeah, it's an awkward situation in best of ones. As you said, if you sort of go 1 or 2 goals behind early, then in a best of 3 or best of 5, then you can adapt, you can figure out what the other team is doing and maybe make a counterplay against it. But in a best of 1, it's so difficult to do that. You've got to react on the fly, and he was just unable to do that. And looking forward to our next series that will be coming up shortly, we've got Tomster going up against Oh Danny Boy, and that is going to be, that series is an absolute mystery to me, and it probably is to a lot of the people watching. Neither of these players having played in a 12 Titans before, and neither of them have played in many RLI tournaments full stop before. And obviously, just to note, Danny Boy is, or Oh Danny Boy is not the same as Danny Boy ATM, who used to be playing in RLI tournaments. So literally, nobody really knows what's going to be happening in this series. A couple of things maybe worth noting that Danny Boy made it through in the lower bracket of the first qualifier, I believe. He took down Kian in that first bracket, and then he lost to Colin in the qualifying match, but he did make it through in the lowers. Tomster, on the other hand, he had to come through in the lower bracket of qualifier 2, so maybe showing that he isn't quite as strong as the other players in this bracket, but it will be an interesting one. Neither player with us known too much about, and I'm excited to see how this one pans out.
Absolutely, and sometimes the unknown kind of players are the ones that you see the most from, or it could be the other way around. As you said, we don't know anything about these players coming into this, although the only thing we can really see is how they qualified. Both coming from that lower bracket area have a bit more to do, and maybe getting knocked out that first time is something that gave them a little bit more of a drive to push themselves to qualify for this 12 Titans match. But two unknown players facing off against each other. We don't know much about them. They could be good, they could not be of the high caliber that we are so used to seeing in this kind of tournament. But they did make it here. They've done very well to put themselves in this position, and I have to say, I'm looking forward to see what pans out.
Absolutely, we'll be getting this game going in a moment. Make sure you get your predictions in with your channel points. Oh, Danny Boy against Tomster. Neither of these players, we haven't seen them much before. Maybe their first time on stream. It definitely is an RLI, but I'll be interested to see whether they can pull this off. Danny Boy will be on the blue and Tomster in the orange. We're going to be getting this one going. EPG, what is your final prediction for this one?
Just judging by the names, to be honest, because that's all I can really go by. I think that Thompson might take this one just by the fact that he came from qualifier 2. He did look like he had a bit more to do than Danny Boy, although he did come through Keane, which is definitely somebody that you'd back to go a lot further than maybe he would have liked himself. But regardless, these are two players that we haven't seen before. They could be really good, and they definitely could bring a show to us. And coming into this next game, they did have to do it all to get here. So now it all comes down to this: who will win this game and who will go on to face the gatekeeper Yem?
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to that match of either of these players against Yem. Yem obviously isn't necessarily known for his ones, but he is definitely a very good all-rounder. He's good in every capacity. Made the finals of 12 Titans last time where he was dispatched by Ineffable. So both of these players will be looking to try and make it into that course final stage. Maybe they'll manage to do it, but it will be tough against Yem either way. And Danny Boy obviously coming through, beating Kian, who was expected to perform a little bit better than he actually did in the qualifying bracket. But I think Tomster is going to be up against the wall here, and I'm going to have to go with Danny Boy as my prediction. He's arguably just a better player on paper, should I say, and Tomster going to have to really battle his way back in this game if he wants to really get a fight to play up against Yem in the quarters.
Absolutely, and it does seem like the chat agrees with you there. Quite a big margin between these two teams in the channel points vote. There's plenty of points being thrown in Danny Boy's direction. But that kind of backing might be something you'll check the chat and say, look, everybody wants me to win, so I might as well give them a show. And it's definitely the small things in 1v1 that will help you, especially the mental point of view, like we've seen in that previous game, D Lynch and Jaffa. Jaffa he didn't play any kind of flashy play style. He just got in his head earlier on in the game, and in the end it really just proved too much for them. But hopping into this game, we do have another best of one. It is the second game on stream between Danny Boy and Tomster. Straight away we see a great kickoff coming out from Tomster. He's going to look to go into this blue half, get some offensive pressure going as Danny Boy collects, both using the Fennec this time out. Both actually have a titanium white Fennec, so definitely splashing the cash on the presets this time out. 15 seconds gone already, no goals being seen, no prospect of an early opener from either of these sides. Much like the previous game, took us quite a while to see an opener, but Danny Boy send this one along, will pie off the backboard. Gonna leave it for Tomster to clear it back into his path. Another touch coming out here from Danny Boy as he looks to make something happen. He doesn't quite get the best touch. Both players find themselves on the wrong side as Tomster does find a shot here. Well cleared away from Danny Boy, and a minute gone, Rez, and both teams just really seem to be sussing each other out, trying to take it a little bit more slowly and make sure that they don't concede the first goal.
Yeah, both players fairly tentative start into this one. Neither wanting to overcommit. You don't want to concede the first goal, but Tomster has got it himself. And he's done nicely. He had a little bump onto Danny Boy, has just tossed him out of the play. And it wasn't a bump. Actually, it was a bump, should I say. And just under a minute in, he has got the opener.
Definitely well deserved from him. He kept the pressure on, putting them in awkward situations and coming across the path of Thompson there. Oh, Danny Boy got bumped for his troubles. Unfortunately for him, won't make any contact on the save, and that is exactly the start that Thompson would have wanted. Oh, Danny Boy going to collect his own boost here as he looks to make a play on this orange territory. Thompson found himself in a rather quick kind of attack there, any kind of flick, and it looked like he would be in a dangerous position, but oh, Danny Boy gets a flick on it as well. He did seem to have a bit of a bump on target there, but Tomster already putting himself back on the attack. Plenty of boost for Danny Boy to work with, almost putting it straight back into him as Demo comes out for his efforts. So Danny Boy looking to take control of this one. It's a shot again. What a save there from Tomster, keeping his dreams of going through alive as he goes up the other end, looking for a counter-attack here, goes to go underneath them. And again, both of these sides look to go pretty evenly as a lot of back and forward stuff is going on here, Rez.
Yeah, back and forth play. Tomster making a lovely save just a moment ago after he got demoed, recovering well. And now he's got low boost on his own backboard. Danny Boy trying to pick apart this defense of Tomster and get the game back level.
Absolutely looking for an air dribble bump. It seems to be the key in 1v1, especially in the high level gameplay. He didn't get the bump, but he did enough to put out Danny Boy off that one, and 2 minutes gone, and we find ourselves at 2-0.
You've got to be so careful of those air dribble bumps. Tomster pulling it out there, and although it didn't actually get Danny Boy, it did throw him off enough, as you said, to just get him to miss the ball, not be able to get enough of a clear on it, and that's 2-0. Now the fake kickoff getting pulled out. Didn't expect to see that one so early. It's Danny Boy now 2 behind.
He's got a bit of confidence in the locker. Tomster trying to go against the vote from both yourself and the chat. A bit of a 360 going for a flick. Doesn't quite get what he wanted. It's an open net attempt here for Danny Boy. It looks like he came off the post. The bounce might mess him up. It will do. That's definitely a chance that will be squandered, and he won't want to look back that one with open eyes. He's got to pass Tomster once again. He will look to finish it. Well, no, if he actually missed it. Oh my word, Danny Boy is having an absolute nightmare here on the attack as another opportunity goes away from him. And Rez, you really need to be scoring those.
You do, absolutely. Those are the chances you cannot miss, just in any series, not just the best of one. And he's going to need to recover because with 2 minutes left on the clock, Tomster seems to be in control of this game and is playing very well indeed.
Very well played by both sides far on into this game. They've got 2 minutes left to play. Only 2 goals in the difference, splitting the sides. Tomster in the driver's seat in this best of one. Danny Boy, given his opposition a bit too much respect, to say the least. He hasn't quite put away the opportunities that came in front of him. He's missed 2 open nets now on his own side, but he still has a lot to play for. It's a lovely cut in, but Tomster completely erases any kind of an attack there by getting a lovely demo. He's got a bit to do here on the attack. He looks to get a flick on. He doesn't quite manage to get the contact on the flick, but we still have around 90 seconds of regulation time to play here. Danny Boy gets a pass from the first time, and again, it's just not quite on target and not what he was looking for. The speed flip from Tomster gets a pass from. It's got to be a shot. It's all a case of whether it hits the post. It does, fortunately for Danny Boy. And this one's going to be going all the way back down the other end of the pitch. Has he hit the post? He hasn't. It's going to find the bottom right corner, and a minute left, and that lead is cut in half.
And that is what so many people find frustrating about 1v1s. 1 second, Tomster is just inches away from scoring himself, and then 1 second later, Danny Boy is blasting a ball back down the other end and getting himself back into this game. This is a really tight one, EPG, just over a minute to go, and 1 goal separating the 2 players.
Absolutely, Tomster might want to start pulling out some tactics that we see from Jaffa. Immediately we see the kickoff goal coming out from Danny Boy. Not quite what you like to see, but it's immediately brought back, and the lead is just completely erased here with a minute left.
I was getting a little bit worried for Danny Boy, but he's pulled this back. 2 goals in 6 seconds. And Tomster now looking to be a little bit on the ropes. He's conceded 2 on his buffer, his 2-goal buffer that's so important that I seem to always talk about when I'm casting. He's now lost it. And the situation will be neutralised with a minute to go. Both players with 2 goals apiece.
Yeah, that 1 goal cushion will be completely nulled in this game. It's not quite what he was looking for in the clear there, as Tomster has it all to do. He does not get the boost. I actually thought he was going to get it there, but Danny Boy nicks it from underneath him. He's going to look to do a bit of shadow defense here. He hasn't got much boost after his name as he leaves it. Opts to go for the boost. It's a bit of a fake on Danny Boy, but he's not too phased on this occasion. 30 seconds left. Now we see it in those bright gold letters in the middle of the screen. Danny Boy gets a bit of a misplay, but luckily for him, Tomster didn't quite anticipate that happening in his favor. He's got the boost. He's used it all to get around this ball, and he has it all to do here. Not much boost left for Danny Boy. He does get a 50. 15 seconds left now. This could be dangerous for Tomster. He does manage to recover quick enough. 10 seconds left here. We do have the prospect of an overtime. It will be the first that we will see on stream, and definitely gonna be something to be interesting to look at, as this one will tick down. Will we see him keep it up? It doesn't, or it might look likely even. He does have a flick to work with. Now he does get the flick. Danny Boy gets a touch. It's gone back up. It's really gonna be kept alive. This one's gonna be drawn out to the last, but we do, Rez, have an overtime.
Both those players keeping the ball up on 0 seconds so tight. We see a kickoff and Danny Boy's won it again, but he's not going to be able to get that kickoff goal that brought him back in normal time. As early on, Tomster pushing the ball forward. He may try and finish this one off, and this may be it, but he's missed, but it's going to go in anyway. EPG, Tomster, against all the odds, has taken down Danny Boy in this best of one.
I'm sure most of the chat will be fuming. They've lost all the channel points that they've watched for so long. It only took us 12 seconds to find a winner, and it will be in the favor of Tomster. My own prediction will come true, and only 5 goals being scored in comparison to the 6 we've seen in the first series. Plenty of play going around each side, but I mean, I have to say it was really Danny Boy's series to lose after all those misses.
Absolutely, he had so many chances to really get himself back into it, and especially when you go 2 goals down, you cannot make mistakes like that. And Tomster has done fantastically well to take the win now. I believe the odds were 1 to 13 in channel points, so a couple of people will be making absolute stacks for that. But well done to Tomster, and he's going to go on to face Yem in the semi-final, and that's a huge win.
Absolutely. I mean, not to burst the bubble of Tomster, but coming up against Yem, he's definitely not going to have it as easy as he did just there gone. But like, we've seen all the misses coming out from Danny Boy. He missed 2 consecutive open nets, just making everything difficult for himself, making life hard, and just playing against himself almost. We've seen the winning goal was not quite the kind of compulsory goal that you'd usually see in an overtime. It was a bit kind of against the run of play. We've seen him missing the shot, but it did trickle in regardless. He had everyone beat in the end. But, you know, coming into this next game, he will be looking forward to take a couple of games off Yem, or goals even. But, I mean, Rez, that is really good win there for Tomster.
Yeah, that was a really, really big win. And next going to face Yem. Yem should be looking to dispatch both of them, but they've done very well indeed. And next game coming up will be Spectre versus Mayday. That's going to be a very interesting one. The last time these two faced off was all the way back in RLI Season 4, where Mayday took down Spectre to win the series, but it's been a long time since then, and Spectre improved a lot. A high-level bubble player playing with Sebadam and someone else in RLCS. He's going to be looking to make his mark and make it through to the quarterfinals. We're going to have that one coming up shortly. And how do you think that one's going to end up going, EPG?
I mean, you mentioned RLCS a couple of times, and it's just the 1v1 is just that kind of area. It's the grey area. It's a bit of no man's land where you have the divide between the people who main 2s and the people who main 3s. You see all these players who are at the top level in the 3v3 modes, but you come into 1v1 and they just don't quite have the same kind of grasp. It's a different area, and definitely a different kind of place that you have to be in mentally. You have to make sure that all the mistakes are kept to a minimum. If you miss a ball, you will be at a serious risk of conceding. And we've seen so far, it could be a 4-goal game and it could be a 1-goal game. It's all based on who takes their chances and who, in the end, scores the most goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Spectre, we're going to see a fairly sort of aggressive approach from him. He probably knows that Mayday is a little bit more conservative in his play style and tries to be a bit more calculated with his plays. But maybe some flashy plays from Spectre. I wouldn't expect to see that from Mayday. Much more sort of a traditional player, but he's certainly got the raw ability to score some very, very impressive goals. And the winner of that will be going up against Colin, which is going to be a very, very challenging game for Ethan. Colin's such a fast player, just a fantastically aggressive, so good on defense. That's a very good ones player overall. And as we've seen to have said with all of these series, it's going to be a challenge for whichever one wins this.
Definitely coming into this game, we've got a bit of a standard to keep now, and this this lineup is definitely going to be a more interesting, maybe a bit more high level than we've seen previously, as both of Danny Boy and Tomster didn't look to be too far up in the 1v1 retrospect, but they did have to play each other and they did have to send one of them home. Unfortunately, coming into this next game, as you said, Spectre is the one that might be coming into this game with a little bit more confidence, knows Mayday a little bit more personally, and having that previous knowledge is definitely something that will affect how you play against people in these 1v1 areas. And Rez, I do think it's going to have a massive impact on the way this outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to see how this one pans out. Two very different players in style, and looking to see how this one pans out. We'll get the two boys in the lobby fairly shortly. And yeah, excited to see how this one comes about.
Absolutely. I mean, these two players, again, I don't have much knowledge previously of them, but as you said, we have people featuring in this tournament that are at that RLCS level playing with very, very top quality players, and they're coming against each other one-on-one. There's nobody else to fall back on. There is no teammates to pass the ball to, and there's nobody behind you to back you up. It's all you and only you on the pitch, and it's just going to all come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. And as you said previously, we've seen Tomster, when he conceded the first goal, he was straight on the attack and immediately just one missed touch and it goes all the way back down the other end of the pitch. It's so frustrating, and why a lot of people don't like 1v1s, but it in the end is how it goes.
Spectre and Mayday in the lobby, the two players facing off. Spectre obviously made his name in RLI back in 12 Titans of Season 4, where he made a remarkable run all the way to the semi-finals. Mayday, a veteran. We've all seen him playing in tournaments for years and years, and both of these players, the young versus the old, if you will, facing off in a 1v1 best of one scenario. This will be to face off against Colin in the quarterfinals of our 12 Titans. The winner will make top 8. Let's see how this one goes.
Hopping into this game, we're back into a best of one Mayday with a rather unique car choice. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell me which car that is. And also coming out from Spectre, not quite the contemporary style of car you'd see in competitive Rocket League. I believe that is the Esper. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure somebody will correct me, but immediately we see a kickoff coming out from Spectre.
I do believe we have the double Esper from both of these players. Spectre and Mayday putting out all the stops to get in each other's heads with this one, but the early goal coming through for Spectre, and we'll see if that's a sign of how things will go on.
3 seconds in, grabbing the opener, a lovely cushion to have on your side. A lot more of a faster pace start than we've seen in previous games. Mayday looking to get a bit of control there. Maybe a bounce dribble will be on the cards. He does get a flick and levels the pegging. We haven't even had 18 seconds fully of Rocket League, but already we have 2 goals, 1 apiece.
This is a very different series from what we saw earlier on with the 2 games earlier. Earlier we saw sort of a more conservative approach from all the players, but here both of these boys have come at the stops really aggressive, really fast, and we've seen 2 goals already. And Spectre looking already to make it 3.
Not even 30 seconds left, or gone even, as Spectre looks to send this one all the way over the head of Mayday. He's going to look to get something else past him here. He has got a bit of a circus-styled hat on top of his car, maybe looking to make a meal out of Mayday here. Looking to get a demo here. He chases him all the way back into his corner. Spectre just lets him do what he has to get some possession on the ball. Approaching the 1 minute mark here. It's a lovely challenge there from Spectre. It's that aggressiveness that we knew he'd come into it with. Mayday not quite putting himself in a good position to deal with that one, and he will regain that lead.
Mayday getting caught out by Spectre's aggression there. He just waited passively under the ball for just a little bit too long. Spectre getting past him quickly and knocking in the goal. 2-1, but still lots of time for this game to go either way.
Representing the last resort is Spectre. Hopefully will not be having to go to a last resort goal to finish this one out. He'll be looking to finish his business early in this matchup. Just over a minute gone here. We already see 3 goals being scored in favor of Spectre. Mayday looks to grab the boost. Spectre has all the air control. He got the flip reset as well, looking to use it. Mayday now has to score this one. If he wants to keep his hopes alive, he will roll it in. And that is exactly the way that 1v1s go. You go one end to the other in the space of seconds, and that will be back at level pegging.
Back level very quickly. Neither of these players really being able to get a big lead on the other. 2 goals, I always say, is the cushion. That's where you want to be, but neither of these players able to get it so far. All tied up with Mayday really winning that kickoff, and he may be able to get one off the kickoff here, but he's put it wide. Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear.
That is definitely not how you're going to win a game. You need to score goals, and if you don't put it in the net, you're not going to score them. This one could be another opportunity. Looks to be a bit of a flip cancel 180 flick there. Not quite something you're looking at. If it works, you're definitely going to be happy with it, but if it doesn't, you're going to be made look like that. A bit of a fool.
The clown hat the Spectre has on fairly well sums up the slightly questionable flick that he just attempted, but Mayday is going to get in the goal regardless. 3-2, and he's got the last 2 goals, and he's going to be looking to get more to try and solidify his position in this game.
Definitely, it doesn't seem like he's going for the traditional style. He will get a pass, the squishy save. Won't make a difference here. Spectre looked like he had the dunk regardless. Doesn't need to get the touch in the end. As we see there, as it slows down, that is the final touch that he got. It looked like he had it covered regardless, but that will be back at level and res. Really seems to be going for the aerial plays. Doesn't seem to be much happening on the ground for Spectre here as he comes into the first 2 minutes.
Absolutely, and 2 minutes, 6 goals, a really fast-paced game to Spectre. As you said, playing a lot in the air, and Mayday going to look to try and get a 4th goal for himself, but he's caught himself out with the touch, and he won't be able to get it Spectre back in net. And he will clear away. Well played by Spectre to get back. Another misplay by Mayday, and this is really turning into a game where both players are playing maybe a little bit too fast for their own good as they make a couple of mechanical mistakes.
Absolutely, they don't seem to be playing too seriously, not quite the sweaty 1v1 that we all know and love. He's going for the breeze, he gets a fake! Oh my word, Spectre, the confidence to go for that. It's a brilliant play, really catches Mayday out and gets the lead again.
This is such a nice fake. Mayday completely sent to the shops. Did not expect the fake by Spectre. So scared of that huge breezy flick that Spectre was threatening with, and he's managed to get the goal. 4-3. This game's swinging back and forth. Absolute chaos here. EPG, as neither player can really stamp their authority on this game.
Do you think it's Mayday's game that he's kind of thrown away rather much so? He's going for the breeze, he won't fake it this time, tries to get the 50 on the way in, didn't quite get the flick he was looking for. Maybe the Esper wasn't the one this time. Mayday looking to get an air dribble here, goes for the flip, he doesn't get the flip, it doesn't matter, it's going to come off the crossbar, and that 2-goal cushion that you said was all important will be gained by Spectre.
Spectre has brought this one back from 3-2 down to 5-3 up in about a minute and a half. He's done very nicely to get this job done. Mayday, he's going to need to get himself back composed, make sure he doesn't get too tilted and get himself back into this game.
Absolutely, 2 minutes left. I think that's the most goals we've seen in any given series. It is still a best of 1 as Mayday looks to make something happen here. He's got plenty of missed chances. This game, a lovely save from Spectre. Gets a flip off the ceiling of the net. It's a lovely flick. Going back up. It's just kept back again by Spectre. Putting up the walls on the defense as Mayday looks to make something come of this. As everything he seems to do is covered so well by Spectre. It's just Cook's here pinch attempt, but Mayday luckily was back in time. And the confidence coming out here from Spectre is really apparent, as Mayday is really just making all the mistakes here.
Yeah, it feels almost as if Mayday is unable to keep up with the speed of game and sort of flashy plays that Spectre's posing, and that's a nice little floor pinch there, almost catching up Mayday again, but Spectre seems to be in control of this game for the time being.
Absolutely, both using the Esper, but Spectre seems to have his angles written down a little bit more carefully, as he's going to look to get a flick off there, going for a breeze. He does fake it again, but Mayday is having absolutely none of it. Sends it all the way down Route 1, and a 60-second left for him to bring back another.
You can only get away with the fake once every game, and Spectre has learned that lesson the hard way. Mayday not falling for it this time, just diving in there. Does not care for the consequences. Spectre conceding because of that. A minute to go, and Mayday's brought it back within 1.
It's definitely what Mayday would have been looking for, although this position that he found himself in now doesn't seem to be it. It does actually, he gets the boost. Spectre's missed it. It's gone all the way back down the center of the pitch. It's gonna roll in, and Mayday, with that 2-goal cushion gone now from Spectre, brings it back level.
Very, very nice from Mayday, catching out the misplay by Spectre, leveling us up. 50 seconds to go. This game is all to play for. This is the tightest game we've seen so far, I want to say.
50 seconds left, and 5-5 on the scoreboard. Taylor Spectre sends that one in. Mayday almost turned that one into his own net here. Spectre turning into a bit more of a business mode kind of 1v1 attack here. He gets it over. Mayday didn't quite need to do much. Gets the pinch in, and it will roll in, and that will be the lead regained from Spectre.
This is absolutely a Spectre goal, just playing it up, getting it around the opponent, and then just pinching it off the floor in. Lovely bit of mechanics to keep that ball so far in control. Mayday caught out, and he's got the lead, but it's only a 1-goal lead. Very temperamental. Mayday could easily bring this back if he gets a nice little play. He's going to have possession here.
Absolutely 30 seconds left for Mayday to make something happen. Spectre with the early challenge, preventing anything happen. Mayday's going to let Spectre try and make the mistakes, but a player of his caliber won't be making too many of those in a game. He's got 19 seconds now on the clock to make something happen. He gets a lovely 50. He has to follow it now to send it all the way down. Spectre trying to follow in suit. He does get a flick. It will go in under the crossbar, and 11 seconds left. A 12-goal game will be split at 6 apiece.
Mayday leaving it down to the wire. 11 seconds on the clock, and he's going to tie us up. I thought Spectre might have been able to get back with that one, but he wasn't able to. Mayday going to tie the game, and this is all to play for with 11 seconds left.
This kickoff is going to be dead important for both of these players. It's a fairly even 1:10 seconds left on the countdown now. It's going to be down to the wire here. Spectre looking to get a last-minute goal. He has the flip. He's going to try use it. He gets a 50 with Mayday. This one's going to go all the way down the pitch. Not being kept up, and Rez, we have a 6-6 overtime.
How on earth has this happened to EPG? And Mayday's got the kickoff. The next goal will decide who goes on in our bracket. Mayday going to concede possession to Spectre. He may have just put it down the field, but it's going to get cleared away. This game's so close.
It's marginal stuff here from both of these players. Spectre looking to go for the aerial play. Seems to think that he can catch him out a lot more in the air than he can on the ground. He didn't quite get the flip. He has to bring it back with him, or else he will leave himself at risk of losing it all here. After all this playing about with the ball, he will not want to concede it. Mayday doesn't have the momentum to go for this. Both players find themselves without boost. Supersonic is Mayday coming down the middle of the pitch here, looking to make something happen. He's got the first touch. Look, he's got a pinch here. He almost had Spectre on the ropes. A minute or so played in this overtime. We still find ourselves level without a winner found by either of these players. Another wall to aerial attempt coming out from Spectre as he has a flip to work. He gets a pinch. He gets it over Mayday. Oh my word, what a way to end this series.
What a phenomenal goal by Spectre. This is such a nice floor pinch, just finding the angle into the top corner. Mayday flat-footed in that. That is the best goal we've seen so far today. Spectre putting it through, and he is finding his way into the semi-finals. Mayday is eliminated.
That is absolutely heartbreaking for Mayday. He thought he had so many opportunities, but that ground pinch off the flip reset, the confidence on display from Spectre to bring that one out. I mean, 7-6 on the scoreline. It really just goes to show what we have on display. I'm actually quite kind of starstruck. We've seen all these area plays coming out from Spectre, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't see a lot of them coming off, but Mayday really caught off guard there by that pinch, and Rez, he really did it all in the end to get the win.
A really nice play right at the end there by Spectre, the floor pinch coming off the ceiling, and that is a way to end a series that's so tight like that. Well played by him. He'll go on to face Colin in the quarterfinals a little later on. We are going to go on a bit of a break for about 6 minutes, and then we'll continue with our road to crowning our 12 Titans Season 6 champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with season 6 of our 12 Titans, the quarterfinals coming right up. I am Rez, and we are rotating the cast this evening, so now I'm joined by MorkyMork. Morky, how are you this evening, and how excited are you for tonight's games?
I am absolutely buzzing. I'm buzzing for tonight's game, so that's the main reason I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Delighted to be casting what will be some amazing quarterfinals and the semis and finals as well, which would be fantastic. And we're starting out with a pretty intense one as well.
Yes, we've got Ineffable going up against Jaffa. Jaffa making it through against D-Lynch in fairly good fashion last time, but you never know if the upset could get pulled off. Ineffable, our 2-time 12 Titans victor. He's going to be looking to make it through today, but first he has to get through Jaffa. Jaffa, known for his sort of speed and mechanical play, but Ineffable, the one's main, has just been a Titan in this sort of format of tournament for years. How can you see this one going, Morky?
I definitely see Jaffa being able to put up a fight here. Especially he's able to grab all that boost because, as you said, he's very fast, very mechanical. So he's going to want to really eat that boost up and take it away from Ineffable. But Ineffable is going to be more patient. He's going to just wait to see what Jaffa does, try and bait him into plays, and try then just to beat him on a counter attack. I can't see anything other than an Ineffable win. Unfortunately, even though I love Jaffa, I love how he plays. I just think that Ineffable is just too strong as a ones player to be beaten here, but I would love to be proven wrong because I will see, Jaffa in the semifinals. I will see Ineffable in the semifinals as well. But I mean, see someone that isn't Ineffable or Rob, in the final would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will have to go with Ineffable as well as my prediction. I may have put 250 channel points on on Jaffa just in case for the big profits, but
Stunks.
Yes, absolutely. But it's going to be really, really difficult here for Jaffa. Ineffable, just so consistent at once. I think the one question mark perhaps for him, maybe he might not be playing the game enough. He's a bit of an enigma, doesn't really play in threes all that much. He's very much a ones main, but we will be seeing how this one pans out very shortly. Ineffable going up against Jaffa. And Jaffa, Morky, what do you really think he's going to need to do if he's going to bring a really good fight here to Ineffable?
He needs, firstly, to really steal all the boost pads he can, especially the big ones. Really keep Ineffable starved so that Ineffable can't take advantage of any mistakes that Jaffa may make. Not saying that he will, but Ineffable is obviously going to, if he loses because of this map, obviously if Jaffa does make mistakes, Ineffable is going to want to really capitalize on them. He's also got to make sure that he's being patient. He's very fast, I know that, but he's got to, instead of trying to force shots that aren't going to go, he's got to try and really spread Ineffable around, try and stretch him from side to side, really waste that boost, and then take a good shot when he's got the opportunity. Because Ineffable as a one's main is going to he's gonna know exactly when to strike, when to defend, when to go for 50. So Jaffa has to be, very able to understand when to go for a shot and when to maybe just keep possession.
Well, we've got the players in the lobby ready to battle it out on the Utopia Coliseum. Jaffa in the Octane going up against our Titan Ineffable in the Fennec. This is going to be a really, really exciting game.
It should be a really exciting game and a good start for Ineffable. They're winning that kickoff really well. Jaffa, though, lovely play there, pinching that ball off the wall. And actually, he's going for mechanical play here. Can he put this one in? Double tap attempt. Oh, but Ineffable denies that very well. Ineffable now with boost and time to work. And here you see the patience of Ineffable. Look at that. Just doesn't need to go for the early shot. Just is calm, collected, and puts that one top ins.
I hate to say this, Morky, but this is just a night and day difference from anything we saw from all the players that we've seen so far today. Just the speed and the power of every touch Ineffable makes everything he does so deliberate, so fantastically precise. And he's got that opening goal up against Jaffa, and Jaffa, he's going to need to pull out all the stops to keep in this one.
He is, and again, I was talking about the patience of Ineffable. He's just so patient there and everything as well. Because you see a lot of players in ones will rush that shot. Oh, Ineffable there with good effort. A lot of players will rush that shot. They think, oh, open net, it's easy, just put it in. But no, Ineffable's like, no, I want to make sure that I'm putting this one in. Even if it means Jaffa's getting back a little bit, that doesn't matter because I can just knock it by him easily. But anyway, continuing on here, Ineffable and Jaffa having a bit of a meeting of the minds there in the Jaffa's half of the pitch. As Ineffable here, just giving him some respect, and that's what you like to see. And Ineffable here clearly respecting Jaffa, shadowing him very, very, not tightly, but also not loosely. So showing that he's got a lot of respect for him, but Jaffa here unable to get out of his half, and Ineffable surely. Okay, big demo from Jaffa there. That was really important. And those physical plays might be really important for Jaffa throughout the series.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and he's going to have to try and bail himself out like he did a second ago, and he may have an opportunity here. Going to try and flick it over Ineffable, but great goal line defending by Ineffable to keep out the goal that would have equalised the game. And now the two players stuck in the corner, an awkward situation for the both, but Ineffable is going to get it clear.
Yeah, and just to see there again, Ineffable, he knows exactly what to do, and look at that. Challenges at that exact perfect time. Knows exactly what Jaffa's going to do, and that's the one's brain for you. Just look at this. He timed it absolutely perfect. He just waits for Jaffa, and timing is impeccable in ones, and his is perfect.
There's something about watching from Ineffable's perspective that makes the game just look so easy, and every time anyone seems to play against him, the game just looks like they're playing completely different games, completely different styles of play, and Ineffable just seems to be in control of things at the moment, and the scoreline maybe even a bit generous to Jaffa here, but it is going to be 3. Ineffable extending his lead now.
Yeah, Jaffa here panicking a little bit. He's trying to boom this one away, and he's looking for the mechanical play there to give himself an opportunity, but Ineffable's always in a good position. And Ineffable is really controlling that central channel, right? He really is. He's just eating it up and not allowing Jaffa, making Jaffa go down the sides.
A good start by Ineffable, and with 3 minutes to go in this best of 1, it's going to be 4-0 in fact, and Jaffa seems to be struggling here to really get a foothold on this game. Ineffable just too strong, and he seems to be pulling away.
Yeah, and Ineffable's read him like a book at this stage. You know what I mean? He's realized how Jaffa plays, and now he's just picking him off. And it's unfortunate to see. You know what I mean? We want to see Jaffa get a put of a fight, but you know, you're going against one of the best ones players in Ireland. You know, one of the best world ones players in the history of RLI, and well, that's 5-0 now. And well, this is getting ugly. Ineffable isn't easing up on the pressure here. He wants to teach this Ineffable. He wants to teach Jaffa a lesson right now.
I cannot wait to see what Ineffable can do further on in this bracket. He's going to be coming up against either Robkin or Shallow in his next game, and that will be an interesting battle, because with the way Ineffable's playing at the moment, he looks absolutely unstoppable. There is just nothing that Jaffa can do to even get close to breaking him down. And the caster's curse has caught me out there, as Jaffa is going to get a consolation goal.
Yeah, no, Ineffable, they're going for the fake kickoff, but Jaffa too experienced to fall for it. Then also lovely fake by him, really nice play. For once, they're Ineffable looking human, not looking fallible instead of Ineffable.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Jaffa, but he just doesn't seem to have the flair, and it's easy to forget that Jaffa, in his own right, is he's a definite 2K, he's a 2.1K threes player, I think, at his peak, and that puts him in the top couple of 100 players in the world in threes, and he's just getting dismantled by Ineffable, and he's going for a nice play there, unable to get it done, but Ineffable just showing that he is in a class of his own in ones.
He really is. You know, he doesn't play many other game modes, and that's okay, but Jaffa, big demo there, and now that sets up the opportunity, and we were talking about that earlier on, the demos could be really important, and Jaffa using it perfectly there. Yeah,
a really nice play, taking Ineffable out and then placing the shot right in the far corner where Ineffable couldn't reach it. And he's done nicely there to get it back within 3. And I think it's a little bit too early to say the comeback is on, but with him getting sort of himself back into the game a little bit, Ineffable, it's going to want to get another goal to maybe really secure his position in this game.
Oh, well, Ineffable missing the boost there, and perhaps a little bit rattled. He was trying to get the boost and then get the ball, but unable to manage it, and Jaffa here able to take advantage of that. Ineffable going in the weird way around, but I think that actually confused Jaffa a little bit. He was like, where did you come from? And then, yeah, the goal goes in. I think Ineffable, they're just confusing Jaffa with his play.
Yeah, Jaffa making a bit of a mechanical error there. You don't like to see it, but Ineffable going to punish, and he does that so well. Really punishes any misplays by his opponents, and able to knock in a 6th, and with 2 minutes to go, this game just seems to be so close, but yet so far for Jaffa, just cannot really get back into it, and it's going to be 7-2.
Yeah, the kickoff goal, it's not really much to say about it, I suppose. It is what it is. It's a kickoff goal. It's well played by Ineffable, and then he finishes it off nicely. Actually, it's a kind of a stylish finish ultimately, but kickoff goal is a kickoff goal. There's not really much to praise or dislike. As we'll have another kickoff here. And well, Jaffa doing the faster there, using the speed kickoff to get to that ball first and stopping Ineffable getting another kickoff goal and flipping this over him. Very nice shot from Jaffa, 7-3. nice effort indeed. He managed to put that one into the back of the net. Beautiful play by him, and he'll be very, very happy with that one. We're joined back by Rez. How you doing?
I'm back. Internet decided to turn off for a second there, but see, I can see that Jaffa has brought back 2 more goals, and an interesting play there, but Ineffable still seems to be well ahead.
Yeah, sorry for that technical difficulty. There's also an issue on my end as well, it seems. So, sometimes this happens, but yeah, Jaffa pulled his way back into this one now, and 7-4, 3-goal gap again, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes left, plenty of time, but it's all about these kickoffs, and Ineffable wins them bigly, which he couldn't do there. Bigly, what a word. He couldn't quite do it there. Ineffable now going to control this one, bringing this up the pitch. Jaffa going to try and challenge, a nice 50, but Ineffable just backed off that one a little bit to let him win it. Very smart play.
Ineffable, absolutely fantastic play. The 50, just so calculated. So many players would just rush into that one like Jaffa did, and Ineffable punishing the early aggression, and it just seems like Ineffable has his number. I think the aggression that Jaffa used to beat Steel Lynch earlier just doesn't work against the cool and calculated nature of Ineffable, and not really much of a chance at all for Jaffa to get back into this one with a minute to go, and we're going to be almost certainly seeing Ineffable going through to the semi-finals to face either Shallow or Rob Kiernan.
Yeah, and even there, from that kickoff, Jaffa goes to the boost. The thing you'd expect that, you want to do, go for that big boost pad. No, Ineffable just says, nah, I'm just going to try and take a shot, and almost puts it in. It's Jaffa. That was deserving of a goal. Good save by Ineffable, though. Really nice play. Everyone putting this over Jaffa. Jaffa trying to get back, trying desperately to recover, get in position. He's done well here, and 8-4. It seems worse than it is, right? I think Jaffa will be proud of this. I think even though he's because we're 8-5 now, I think Jaffa will be proud of his play in this one.
Yeah, I certainly didn't think that things would be quite as close as they seem to be. I mean, 3 goals, maybe Ineffable has sort of resting on his laurels a little bit after getting that lead earlier, but Jaffa, who's put up a good fight, keeping it within 3 for Ineffable, does show that, as you said earlier, Ineffable is human, but Ineffable is going to take it and going to move on to the semi-finals, and a very, very strong performance, both on offense and defense for him.
Yeah, well, right now Ineffable just wasting time on the clock here, just stealing all the boost he can from Jaffa. Just does, I think he's still comfortable. He doesn't want any more goals scored, and I think as he's going to try some mechanical stuff here. Oh, looking for the ground pinch, couldn't quite get it. After low enough boost working, gets a good 50 there. He's actually won that 50. Not easy very often against Ineffable, but the shot is wide, and he nice shots himself. At least he's got a sense of humor about it.
And that is going to be it. Very, very nice from Ineffable indeed. Jaffa dispatched early on in his bracket run, as we're going to move on to our second semi-final. But that was a very, very nice game from Ineffable. 13 shots to 8, just shows how much pressure he had throughout.
Yeah, it was very well done. Both players hitting just a bit over 50%. So it's good shooting as well, and the ones especially where sometimes the shot to goal ratio is a bit lower because you're booming shots on, but it was still a nice play and very well done and a good win for Ineffable. But Jaffa could be very proud of his performances against one of the greatest Rocket League players, women's players anyway, that RLI Ireland has ever seen, and he's put up a fight against him and really made him play hard, and that's going to stand to Ineffable as well. I think Ineffable will be grateful for that going into the next match against either Shallow or Rob Kiernan.
Yeah, a very, very strong performance from Ineffable. Jaffa, yeah, as you said, he will definitely be happy with this performance. He's made the top 8 in 12 Titans, and I believe that's his best finish in any of the seasons we've had previously. So a strong performance overall, and he's managed to put up a decent fight against Ineffable. Obviously, beating D Lynch is going to be what he was aiming to do here. I don't think anyone or himself expected to beat Ineffable. But moving on to our next semi-final, we are going to be seeing Rob Kiernan going up against Shallow, and that's going to be a real clash of the Titans there, won't it, Morky?
Yeah, that is probably going to be one of the biggest matches of the night. Well, in as a prelude to the next biggest match of the night, which will be the winner of this against Ineffable. I think that is going to be this upper half of the bracket is stacked. I feel so bad for Jaffa. He was in the wrong half of the bracket. I think if he'd been in the bottom half, he would have done a lot better. But because he played so well today, He played incredibly well today, so I think he's got a right to feel a bit annoyed. But this game is going to be insane. Rob Kieran, a champion in his own right of this. Shallow, just made day 3 of RLCS recently, of regional qualifiers, and he's just such a talented player in every game mode, 1s, 2s, and 3s. Rob Kieran as well, obviously a former RLCS ex-player. So, it's two of the titans of every game mode of RL Ireland going against each other. It's going to be an epic clash, but you have to feel Rob Kieran is just, I think, a little bit better in ones. I think he's got that little bit more experience. And, him and Ineffable have been fighting it out for years to determine who is the real GOAT of Rocket League in Ireland at ones. And he's going to try his best again here to show RL Ireland that he is the GOAT of ones.
Absolutely. I think you can separate the history of RLI into maybe 3 dynasties. You've got the era of sort of Red Eyes dominated everything. He used to be known as the king of online. He would not lose tournaments for months on end. And then came Morgan Fusion. They started absolutely popping off, winning tournaments. They are 4 or maybe even 5-time LAN champions. Absolutely insane, both a pair of them. And now in this most recent era, you have got Shallow and Rob Kieran, and they came into the scene maybe a little over a year ago. And it was in tournaments like 12 Titans, where they sort of came onto the scene, and later in the IECs, the Irish Elite Cups last summer, where both of these players really came into their own, winning multiple times. And both of these players really, really strong in their own right. And he just played they both just played some very, very good Rocket League, and I'm excited to see how this one ends up.
Yeah, me too. It should be a we're having more connections, but yeah, this should be an absolutely fascinating one. Obviously, we've obviously seen as well Robin and F will play each other before in a 12 Titan final. So the fact that they may meet in the semi-final, or Shallow could play upset. Of course, Rob and Shallow actually played together in the most recent Wild Rocket series. So that's extremely interesting. That could make it a far more interesting proposition, because they're the former teammates. And by all accounts, they clashed heads a little bit during that.
Yeah, this could definitely be a bit of a grudge match between these two. I know they talk to each other, they play with each other a lot, and both of them will be wanting to get a little one-up on each other. Rob, probably the favourite coming into this one, but Shallow could definitely pull off an upset if he's playing well. We've mentioned before that he has some of the best goal line defense in all of Irish Rocket League, and if he can pull out some of that here and maybe get some counter-attacking goals, Rob could be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, the one issue I have with Shallow is his mindset. Fantastic player when he's on it, and when he's in the right headset, I think he's pretty much unbeatable. The problem is something happens and he gets tilted, and you can't afford to be tilted against someone like Rob Kieran. So he's gonna have to keep his mentality really, really in check here. Really, really make sure that he's keeping his mind and his focus on the game and not on his opponent. Because once you switch to your opponent, it's already lost. Well, maybe not lost, but at this level, it is definitely lost if you're not able to keep that mental focus on the game and the ball.
You have to make sure, as you said, that you do not get in your own head here. It's easy to happen in once, and a best of one, you don't have that opportunity for the mental reset to sit back, relax, take a breather, and just go back into it with a new mindset. And these players, they have been known to tilt in the past, and I think that certainly was an element of it when they weren't able to convert their number 1 seed in WRS recently, when they lost in the final with Halden, an RLCS main event player on their team as well. So this is going to be a real clash of the minds and the cars in game here, as both of these players will look to try and assert dominance over one another.
I do enjoy the fact that we could be getting not a repeat of the final of WRS, last WRS, but kind of a 1v1 repeat of it, because on this side you have obviously Shadow and Rob Kieran, and on the other side you have Yem and Colin. So there could be a potential of dog with a dog facing off against I forgot the other team name. Whoever Shallow and Rob were.
Yes.
The other team name, yeah. Whoever Rob and Shallow's team were on. So there's potential of having a rematch, but just in ones. And
that's actually a very, very interesting dynamic that I hadn't thought of. And you're absolutely right. We could end up with a face-off, a repeat of WRS, but this is the game on our minds right now. Shallow versus Rob, and cannot wait to see how this one pans out. 5 minutes, and we will have our other semi-finalist.
Yeah, and a very good kickoff for Shallow. Oh, what a shot as well. Just absolutely beamed that in. Rob does not look happy at all there. He gets the demo after the fact. I'm not sure if he's going for the first or not. No, he was not. He was not going for that demo. He's trying to get in Shadow's head already. With Shadow, that's a perfect start for him.
Lovely little start from Shallow, getting the kickoff goal, and Rob gonna want to come back from this early. You don't want to sit behind for too long, and he's gonna do exactly that with the kickoff goal. 11 seconds, 2 goals, and this seems just as fast-paced as the last series.
Yep, and it could be very similar to the first match before I came on between Mayday and Spectre. Just loads of goals because 11 seconds in, we've already got 2. However, that can change. One's is weird. One's you know, you can never really count how many goals they're going to be before they go in. But another neutral kickoff this time. For the first time, right? Quite neutral. Shadow just gonna push that ball away to Rob and grab himself some boost. Smart play. So Rob and I will try here to set up an aerial play. Shadow though, well, if you're gonna go for an aerial play like that against Shadow, it has to be more convincing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Rob might have tried going for the edgeable bump, but Shallow, wise to it, and was able to dodge out of the way before making a save. But Rob may have caught him off here, but Shallow will get back just in time to make the clear, and the game will remain tied for the time being.
Yeah, but Shadow now low on boost here. He's going to have to be very careful. And Rob, aware of that, puts that one in under the crossbar, 2-1.
Even Shallow's phenomenal defense can't keep this out. Rob just dribbling into the top of the net. Shallow not enough boost to really get up there and get a convincing 50. Rob going to get the lead for the first time in this game, but lots and lots of time for both players to change how they are playing. Shallow going to fake the challenge, and Rob not going to fall for that, but Shallow will come out with possession of the ball and with boost.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually that we... Oh, Shallow puts that one in, 2-2. And, oof, Rob here should be doing a little bit better on this, right?
This is just one of the things that I really noticed about top level ones, and it's that a goal can come from absolutely nothing. Shallow just taking a pot shot from far out. Rob not expecting it to come quite so quickly in his direction. He's going to get caught out by it. All tied up again, and Shallow not ready to yield as of yet.
I actually think Rob had a weird landing off the wall, actually, that left that. Oh, the flip reset, almost top bins, but not quite. So that kind of put him awkward, and Shallow, I think, was aware of that and knocked that one home. But I don't think we actually had a prediction of who we think is going to win. I think we were both pretty set on Rob, but Shallow makes it 3-2, so could be an upset on the cards here.
This game is much closer than I thought it may have been. Shallow flicking it over the head of Rob and getting the demo while he's at it. Easiest open net that he's ever going to have. He doesn't miss those. And yeah, 3-2 in favor of Shallow now.
And again, the demo is just so important in ones. So in other game modes, yeah, the open space, if you get them to the right part of the park, it's fantastic. But in ones, it's just 3 seconds of free ball. And you can really set, even if you're far away, you can still set up an attack, set up a shot. And, you know, we've seen it before as well. Jaffa got a demo and then just wait and see where the spawn was and took the shot. So demo is really important in this game mode. You want to avoid them if you're a player from being demo, but you want to get them as well.
Rob gonna try and dribble high, and he's gonna get the bump. So awkward for Shallow. He was just stuck between diving, get the ball, and Rob coming in to bump him. He's gonna concede because of it, and that's really nice by Rob. Just nothing really Shallow could do there.
Yeah, I'm surprised Shadow gave up that middle channel so easily, though. You know, ones that, you know, you can really split the park into three lanes, kind of the middle lane, and then your left and right lane. And you know, you really, as a defender, you want to be taking up most of that mid lane and making your opponent go down the corners. It's more difficult then for them to attack and get the shots on. But if you're letting them have the middle, those are things that happen. Rob can just, you know, force Shadow to the side. Lovely flick by Shadow, though, and that's going to be in 4-3.
That is so nice by Shallow, just flicking it so late. Rob, I'm sure, was convinced that he was going to be able to get up to this, but such a high flick, whipping it over the top of him, getting the lead back. We've already seen 7 goals in 2 minutes as Rob unable to assert the dominance that a lot of people thought he would have been able to.
I think that's because chat is lending Shallow with their energy as Shallow makes it 5-3 for the kickoff. Just in case you want to say, Shallow shakes, take a break, Shallow sauce, come on, boss.
We do love Twitch chat as Shallow gonna knock in a 5th, and for the first time in this game, he's got a 2-goal lead, and that is vitally important in every game mode, really. You get that little 2-goal cushion. And Shallow going to look to try and continue the form that he's had in the last sort of minute or so, but Rob is not going to buckle that easily.
No, absolutely not, and still plenty of time. 2 goals, even with a minute left in ones, is too little of a lead at any level. And at this level, Rob can perch it from anywhere, and especially with time left. But Shallow here is doing very well, using those wave dashes and flips very effectively. And looking for the shot. What a save by Rob, though. That was a perfect read. And Rob here just showing his ones experience there. That lovely, looking for the 50 there. to get in, not quite able to. Shadow going to continue on, but Rob, very smart ones player, and he did show that with a save.
Shallow does indeed seem to have bought the source today. He's definitely looking a little bit like the stronger player, which is not what we would have thought we would have seen. It's Rob going to have to defend his own backboard there. Shallow going to get possession again with lots of boost here. He could have an opportunity, but he's going to hit it off the backboard. It'll be an easy clear for Rob.
I think he's trying to waste Rob's boost a little bit. Really expose the hole in defense, and that's what I was saying what Jaffa needed to do against them as well, against the Ineffable. He's kind of, bring him from side to side, keep grabbing those big boost pads, make him starve, make him go for the big saves that are awkward. And that's what Shadow's trying to do here, as Rob will look for a shot, looking for the bump again. What a save by Shadow! Oh my word! And that is why Shadow is considered one of the greatest goalkeepers that RLI Ireland has ever seen. What a save!
Shallow pulling out all the stops to keep his 2-goal lead, and Rob maybe getting a little bit frustrated here. He just cannot break him down. Everything he does, he's just blowing and blowing against the defensive wall that is Shallow. But he's not been able to break through, but Rob is finally going to get it. No, he won't. He's going to hit the post, and Shallow going to hang on to his lead.
Yeah, he was trying to bait out a 50 as well before to set up that opportunity. You saw it there, and that's, smart. But at the same time, with time running out, it's not the small. Well, Rob is just bullying Shallow now, using that physicality. Perhaps trying to just get a bit under Shallow's skin right now, because Shallow looks very much in the zone here.
There's less than a minute to go now, Morky, and Rob needs 2 goals. This is not what we would have expected to see. Obviously, Rob not playing quite as much ones as he used to, but he should certainly be the favourite here. And he's going to miss the edgeable bump, and Shallow's going to get the clear. This is looking really, really bad for Rob now.
He's gone to that well too many times, looking for the bump from the aerial play. He's gone, and Shadow read that perfectly. That's why instead of going up in the air straight away, trying to come from the side, he decided to use the wall. And this should be a goal. Oh, no boost to work with. I thought he had enough boost. He didn't. But he can still be a goal. Anyway. It is still going to be a goal. It's 6-3, and that might be the nail in the coffin. Rob, I think, actually let this one go in because he's got a better chance on the kickoff than he does in regular open play.
Morky, this may be one of the biggest upsets that we're going to see today. Shallow. The Twitch prediction vote says it all, 86% thinking that Rob is going to win this, but Shallow looks like he's going to pull off the upset. 6-3, Rob. He's going to need something immediately if he even wants a chance.
Yeah, and he kind of let that one in on purpose because he knew that Shadow would be able to waste time, so he's like, okay, just put it in. Let me see if I can win the kickoff. He couldn't win the kickoff, and that's going to do it. Shadow just has to hit this ball down to the corner now, and it's all over. It is all over. 5 seconds left. Shallow has get the biggest upset in 12 Titans this year by knocking off a previous champion in Rob Kiernan.
Shallow has bought all of the sauce today, taking down Rob Kiernan, and not just it. That wasn't even a tight game. It was in convincing fashion. Shallow 6 goals to 3, taking the victory. And Ineffable will be a little bit scared for that other semi-final because that was such a good performance by Shallow. I'm in awe.
1,500 points, 8 saves, 9 shots. He was outshot 9-14, but he made 8 saves. That is insane. What a play by Shadow. He never looked in trouble. Early on, Rob had a lead a few times, but it was never more than one. And then Shadow, towards the second half of that game, just started running away with it. Always seemed like he was in control of the ball. Always seemed like he was in control of the situation. Had to make 1 or 2 really good saves, sure, but a really good play by Shadow. He'll be delighted.
That was such a good win by Shallow. I'm really impressed with how he came out of the stops, just getting those pot shots, getting the long range shots, and being able to sort of stay away from all the demos that Rob loves to go for. And I think that was one of the big turning points where he was just unable to get those edgeable bump goals against Shallow, and Shallow managed to keep him out.
Yeah, he went to that well one too many times, I feel. He kept looking for it. And, against someone like Shadow, against, a player who's maybe, a Grand Champ player or, Grand Champ 1 or 2, you can do that. They're not going to read you. But against someone like Shadow, who's just so good, he's just such a phenomenal player. He's going to read that, especially as a defender as well. He's going to read that and be like, okay, let me just go up over the wall. Therefore, you've got lesser chance of bumping me, and I can kind of see where you're coming from and hit the ball away before you can hit me.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that I was able to watch that series. Did not expect that one to happen at all. Ineffable versus Shallow will be our first semi-final, our second semi-final. We've got 2 games coming up that will decide who'll be playing in that. We're going to rotate the casters again, so I am going to be passing over to EPG, who will be joining MorkyMork on the desk. Everyone, thank you very much for enduring my casting today, but I'm I'm excited to see how this one goes. Morky, EPG, take it away.
Yes, indeed. And we are being set to go for the next one. Welcome back, of course, the man you heard earlier on, EPG. How are you doing today, man?
Absolutely shocked to see the result that came out previously there. I'm not going to lie, I did back Rob to give that one a little bit more of a closer effort, but regardless, upsets do happen, especially in best of ones, and Shallow, I'm sure, will be delighted and have some pretty good momentum coming in to face Ineffable. But next game we have lined up will be Yem versus Tomster, and Tomster being that player that only beat Danny Boy by 1 goal earlier on stream. One of the more unknown kind of players will be facing definitely one of the more top end players being Yem. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what occurs with this one. And what do you think is going to happen, Morky?
Tomster would be delighted to be here. I thought Danny Boy might just edge that one, and Danny Boy, looked the better player in that one. Honestly, just couldn't quite hit the target a lot. I know that might seem counterintuitive, but sometimes the better player loses in Rocket League. It happens. Yem is just so strong, and he's coming off perhaps one of the best runs of his career. Did really well in the Royal Rocket Series. Has looked good in 6-man since then as well. I know it's ones. I know it's a different story, but I think it's very, very difficult to look past Yem in this one.
Absolutely. He's a man that is definitely going to be backed by a lot of people in the prediction and chat. Make sure to send your channel points in now, as it does look like there's plenty of channel points coming in favor of Yem, 100% so far. And it's definitely rather kind of convincing prediction coming out from the chat there. And I have to say, I'm not too far off that prediction myself, as we will look forward to seeing these two players line up. Yem is just one of those kind of dogged players. He comes in, he knows what he's doing in the 1v1 situation. He has hit SSL and he gets it quite consistently, as far as I'm aware. And he's kind of be a person that, if we take our eye off him for a minute, he'll probably be scoring goals. And Tomster really needs to be careful what he does here, Morky. He
really does. It's really important that he doesn't give Yem time or space, right? If you give Yem time or space, he's gonna make sure that you pay for it each time. So Tomster has to really deny him time and space. He's denying the boost, as always, in ones, right? Boost is king in ones. In 2s and 3s, sure, it's important, sure, it's great, but it's not the be all and end all. Whereas in ones, boost, if you're not boost starved at all, it's just lights out already before we even start. So it's really important that Tomster make sure he's boost pathing correctly, managing his boost correctly, and also trying to see all the big boost pads from Yem, and also demo and bump. That's just when you're the player that's the least favorite and the less mechanical and the less good at ones. Bumps make the game scrappy. Bumps, physicals, awkward touches, all those kind of good things. Just make the game as awkward as possible for your opponent.
Absolutely. I mean, it does go both ways, though. If Yem can start getting in the head of Tomster, it is still that best of one. He has the advantage coming into this. He's got the backing from the chat. He's got the backing from the casters. And I'm sure his rank will back him up as well. Hopping into this game, we've got a best of one series. We've got Tomster in the orange and Yem lining up in the blue. We've got 5 minutes of regulation Rocket League to play as we count down 3, 2, 1. It's all going to depend on this kickoff. Line up in Utopia Coliseum as Yem's going to go back and take his own boost. You're going to wait for Tomster to make it play, but this time doesn't make it right play. This is going to go all the way back down into orange territory. No touch being made there, but Yem reads it well, straight into the bottom left corner, and that is exactly what we come to expect from a man at this caliber.
Yeah, Tomster here is looking like he's playing 2s or 3s rather than 1s. That's he's expecting somebody back. Perhaps he's going for boost over ball there. That's not the wisest thing to do in 1s. I know he said boost is important, but also you have to hit the ball, right? Don't miss the ball. Don't let the ball fall into your opponent's hands, because if you do, they're going to punish you, and someone at Yen's level especially is going to punish every time.
Absolutely. Tomster can't find a save this time. 20 seconds in, and we've already got a second. Yem just really turning up the engines here. He gets a lovely flick over his head, and this one will not be kept out. And this is really, if it keeps going this way, going to be a bit of a whitewash.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the mismatch here early on. I was hoping that Tomster could really show up here. And that's a good kickoff, though. Give himself a chance. But Yem, always my favorite to that one is, Tomster trying to turn this, can't quite do it. But yeah, Tomster just needs to stay out of his head now. Just, 2 goals happens. It's ones, right? Goals can come in quickly. Just try now and just spend the next 30 seconds or so scoreless, and then see if you can get one back. That's the main thing, right? Just try, compose yourself. Make sure that you're keep not losing it early, because you can definitely lose a game of 1s early, right? You can't win it early, but you can lose it early. That's a going back though from Tomster. Very nice play indeed. 2-1.
Very well played there from Tomster, bringing it back, cutting that lead in half. Get a lovely wave dash there to recover himself there. Yem maybe not expecting him to get that much power in it, but we've a minute gone, and that lead is reduced to 1. Tomster bringing himself back into it. As you said, that keyword composure really going to be the talk of the series here, as if Tomster can't keep himself mentally composed against a player of this caliber, he's really going to have his work cut out for him. Another rough 50 there from Tomster. Yem's going to follow this one down. He's got an open shot, an open net, and he does not miss those no matter what the angle. If you give him an open net, he is going to score them.
Yeah, Tomster there being a bit too aggressive, right? Should back off that play. He doesn't, goes for a 50, and the 50 goes massively Yem's favor, and he's always the favorite to get that then. And it's a beautiful shot, to be fair. He hits it hard. He hits it right in the center of the goal as well, giving Tomster absolutely no chance to get back. 3-1, and Yem here, just after conceding that goal straight away, doubles the lead once again.
Clinical from the 12 Titans keeper as we come into the minute and a half mark. Yem looking to get another shot off. It's a nice 50 by Tomster, prevents the imminent goal coming in here as Yem gets a bit of mind games going on that right hand side, as Tomster has to do everything to prevent it. He has a bit of time to work with. Will Yem get back in time to save it? He gets a 50, but Tomster puts himself in front of it, and that lead is already reduced back to 1 again with 3 minutes 30 on the clock.
Yeah, very smart play by Tomster here. He realizes that Yem is probably going to try and clear it, so he just jumps, makes sure that when that clear comes, he's there to knock it in, using all the power as well from Yem's attempt to clear to push that one into the back of net. Great goal by him, and it's once again a 1-goal game. And Yem here has got a bit of a fight on his hands.
Absolutely, definitely not going to lie down easy as Tomster. He got a win earlier on. He's carrying that momentum, but this one's going to be way too easy for Yem. Not sure what he was doing on the wall there, expecting a touch straight into him, but Yem will take that gladly, repping the green bronze tournament winner, which is far from polar opposite of what he actually is.
Yeah, I know. Would you imagine running into Yem in an open lobby and seeing that and just being absolutely terrified if you're a bronze? You know? But yeah, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, you bump into him in an open lobby and see that. You're like, oh, easy win, and then he just farms you. You know, that's the kind of thing that goes on. But yeah, no, I don't know. Tomster's trying to be aggressive, right? And that's not a bad tactic. But you have to know when to be aggressive and when to back off. And the problem is that he's trying to be far too aggressive all the time.
Definitely, he's put a bit too much flair into the position in here. He gets a pass. Yem the first time. He's got the boost to work with. Yem won't make it back in time. That one's going to roll all the way in. And again, we find Tomster reducing that lead. He seems to concede it to give away that 2-goal cushion for Yem, and he cuts it straight back in half again.
Like there, in defense, absolutely okay to be aggressive. You know what I mean? You've got nothing to lose. You know, if especially in the corner, if you lose that in your own corner, you're probably going to be okay. It's probably going to bounce weirdly for you. But you know, if you're being able aggressive like that in your own corner, it's fine. And you can. Sometimes it works out like that, and it works out perfectly. Also, very good job at avoiding the demo. And another 50, and that's going to be off the post, but he puts it in. 4-4, and oh my word, Tomster is back in this one.
Not even past the minute or the halfway mark here in this best of 1, and we already see an 8th goal coming in. Yem won't be too happy with the way that this is going for him. He's still got plenty of time to make it up for himself, but Tomster has, of course, scored a lot more than I've seen people giving him credit for in the chat. Yem, it's a bit of time to work with here. He tries to get a hook shot past Tomster, but this one's going to be snuffed out quite comfortably. Tomster found himself a bit far away from the shadow defending region this time as Yem looks for a bump. This time won't make any connection, can't quite find them with the ball cam on there as Tomster has a bit of time and space to work with. Yem goes for the early challenge. It was a bit risky, but it paid off for him in the end. He's going to bring this one all the way back into his own territory. He's got a bit of time to work with, trying to draw out the defender of this orange side. This one's not going to make it past this time. He's got a bit to work with here as Tomster tries to bang a shot downfield. This time won't make it past Yem. Nice 50, sending it back up into the center. We've got a minute 50 left now. Still find ourselves level, although a lot of people at home wouldn't have backed it happen. An air dribble from Yem. He is very deadly on those ones, but this time does not pay off for them. And Morky, this constant pressure is just absolutely relentless. This one's gonna come in. That's so disappointing for Tomster.
It's not even disappointing. It's a really nice fake by Yem. Yem looks like he's taking the shot here. Yeah, he just fakes him out. It's not even Tomster's fault. It's a great fake by Yem. But yeah, it's relentless pressure from Yem now, and he's also being patient. Before he was perhaps thinking it was a bit too easy. He was, you know, trying for the fancy plays, you know, just trying to be a bit too aggressive as well. Right now, he's being patient. He's playing. He knows he's the better player now. What a thought it was saved, but not quite. Yem puts it in 6-4.
Yeah, that was a very close margins there again from Tomster. It was a nice shot from Yem off the kickoff. He will be very solid on the kickoff. He's a man of a specific caliber in the 1v1 regions, and kickoffs is definitely something that he'll look forward to having. Tomster not quite able to keep that one out. Still not too far out of reach though. 2 goals in the difference. 90 seconds left on the clock. Tomster looks to get a bit closer to the ball here. He's trying to keep himself a little bit tight to the ball. But this time he gets a nice little flick up. Yem in anticipation, waiting on that left-hand side. He's just kind of drawn him in here, reversing, waiting for the challenge to send it back over his head. But Tomster positions himself well with the fake challenge. A reversed attempt at a challenge there from Yem will give the possession back in his favor. He just needs to run down the clock here. He's got 60 seconds to work with, and he's really just trying to draw him in. And that's exactly why, when there's challenges like that, he knows his teammate, or his opposition even, is frustrated on 50 seconds left. 3 is a bit of a hard task.
To be fair, Thompson's been doing this all game. He's been very aggressive, and that includes an attack and defense. He doesn't really know when to back off or when to, maybe just try a different tactic. He's just diving straight in, and sometimes that can work, but against an experienced player like Yem, it's never going to work. And especially, when that's been your go-to move, the whole thing. You have to mix it up, right? In ones, it's all about mixing everything up. You have to mix up your kickoffs, mix up your strategies, mix up your shots, mix up everything, or else your opponent's going to figure out very quickly. And once your opponent's figured out, it's game over.
30 seconds left now. It doesn't look likely that Tomster will make a comeback, although if he scores this one, it might be a prospect here. He does get the bump on Yem. Oh my word, he does have a chance here. 26 seconds left on the clock, and he only needs 2 now.
Yeah, absolutely. A great bump here. It's very smart play. Instead of being aggressive this time, he is aggressive a different way, but it's a smart kind of aggressive. It's the type of aggressive we want to see from him, not to just dive in all the time at everything. Really be calculated what he's doing. And that was very, very good play indeed. And Yem now Yem wins the kickoff, so Yem wastes a bit more time off the clock now.
He does win the kickoff. He tries to take a pot shot, goes straight back because it's the only place he can shoot it. Tomster looking for the shot downtown. He gets the boost off Yem. He's got 10 seconds. He needs to score one and get a good kickoff if he wants to have a chance to proceed to the next round. He's got an air dribble to work with. He can't get it in. He's got 3 seconds now, and there's only 1 goal in the difference.
Oh my word, what an air dribble here as well. He actually just Yem is very confused. I think I'm confused as well. What happens here? He gets the dunk as well, tries to make sure that if Yem does get the save, he's going to dunk it home. And at 7-6, it's all about the kickoff now.
Absolutely, it's all about the kickoff. He goes for the fake. He tries to keep it up, but it is going to hit the ground. He won't be happy with the outcome of that when he loses it by 1 goal. And to be fair, he's done a lot better than a lot of people backed him for. Yem might be feeling a little bit worried coming into the rest of this if he's keeping it that close with a player that was definitely underestimated by nearly everyone.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal play by Tomster there to get it close. I'm not sure the fake kickoff at the end was the right decision, but it's the decision he went for. But absolutely brilliant. Really came back into that one strong as well. It looked like when it was 7-4, it looked like it was all over. It was all over about the crying, but he came back. He kept fighting until the end, and that's to be applauded. And he played really well as well at times. Times a bit too aggressive, but that aggressiveness also served him well in other parts of the pitch. So I think if he can balance that aggressiveness with knowing when to back off and know what not to be aggressive, he could be a future contender for this title.
Absolutely. And aside from the Rocket League, we have got a 5-month subscription from Enron. So thank you very much for that. That's definitely not going unnoticed in the chat. That is going to be something that will help for the future. But looking at the bracket now, we've got Yem moving on against Tomster. And the next game yet to see from these players is Colin and Spectre. Now, we haven't seen Colin playing this evening, but we did see Spectre take on Mayday earlier on. And that was also a 1-goal game. We did find an overtime, and that flip reset pinch off the ground from Spectre caught him off guard. And in the end, gave him the edge that he needed. We see a lot of high-quality players being knocked out in this game. But, Morky, looking at this bracket, there's some really saucy lineups.
Yeah, there definitely is right now. We're going to have, obviously, Ineffable against Shadow. That is going to be fantastic. We're going to have Yem against either Colin, who's his teammate in the World Rocket Series, or against Spectre, who is a absolutely disgusting mechanical player. That's why he's very good at ones. This mechanical stuff is Oh, it's to die for. I can't put into words how I was impressed by Spectre. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be substance over style. Substance against style. Sorry, not saying substance over style. Say substance against style. It's going to be Collins very not basic, but you know what I mean. He's a very good Rocket League player. Great the fundamentals, very solid against a player who at times can be looks for the clips a bit too much, can be a bit too flashy, but my word, when he is popping off, he is just irresistible.
Absolutely, and we've seen him conceding plenty against Mayday earlier on when he was going for all these mechanical kind of bits and bobs, and you see him going for these flip resets. If they don't come off, it doesn't, it doesn't give him much of a chance to get back. He gets a flip reset, so it comes off the crossbar. It's only one touch needed, and it could go straight down the other end. And it's the frustrating thing about 1v1 games, especially in best of ones, is you can't afford to be conceding things like that. And as you said, fundamentals against Flash is definitely going to be an interesting one, because if Spectre can pop off and get all these kind of flashy goals, he gets the flip resets that Colin won't be able to defend, then he will have the edge on this. But if he's not, and he keeps conceding all these simple goals, that Colin will definitely be back to take.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Colin will be hoping that Spectre is going for those fancy plays and missing them, so that he can just run up the pitch and get an easy goal. We saw that Mayday though. We saw the exact same thing with Mayday. Mayday was able to keep himself in the series, pull himself back late on, but then Spectre in overtime, just held on and got an incredible pinch goal. Pinched it over Mayday into the top bins, and that's just so difficult to do. So it's hard to see past Spectre in this one. I think I have to go with Spectre.
Yeah, I have to kind of agree with you there. If he does start playing like he was earlier on, he looks like he will be the one to take this game. But regardless, we still have to see how they play as we wait for them to join in. And, we have seen plenty of good lineups and some upsets. As we've seen earlier, we've seen plenty of people that maybe you wouldn't expect it to be knocked out, such as the likes of the previous game. Rob Kiernan got knocked out earlier on by Shallow, and one that a lot of people wouldn't have backed to happen, but definitely had to be done in the right way. Morky, who do you think is going to be the one to make the most mistakes in this game? Who do you think is going to have the most kind of grasp in this game?
I think if we're asking who's going to make the most mistakes, it's definitely going to be Spectre, but that doesn't necessarily mean those mistakes will be punished. That could just mean that those mistakes are just like when he's going for a double flip reset or whatever fancy smanchy thing he's looking for mechanically. He's not going to connect with them all the time. Now that may give Colin a chance, it may not. I think Colin will be the more solid player. Definitely the less flashy player. But if Colin's defense is up the scratch, we know it can be. Then he's got an absolute great chance of winning this one.
Absolutely. As we wait for this to get underway, we're looking forward to a good matchup. I mean, taking a look at the bracket, the winner of this game will face against Yem in that second semi-finals. We're looking forward to having a very saucy top four. We've got Ineffable and Shallow already facing off in the first semi-finals that we are yet to see. And then also the winner of this will face Yem to see who will get into that all-important grand finals of the 12 Titans series. And, coming into this game, it's the fundamentals that seem to be overcoming anything else in this game. We see all these air dribbles coming out, and when they don't come off, they're just so dangerous to face against when it's coming against you. And, when you're facing all of these kind of flashy players and all the flip resets, although they do seem to be kind of hard to defend, you seem to find yourself in a counterattack position a lot more, Morky.
Yeah, absolutely. It becomes a lot more difficult then. If you're able to really execute those mechanical plays and your opponent's able to defend them properly, yeah, it's easy money. But if they are able to defend, or if you're not able to execute them properly, then you're leaving yourself wide open. You're already out of boost. Your opponent probably has a bit of boost to work with. You're out of boost then, and it just becomes a completely different story. You know what I mean? And it's all well and good, freestyle and all that. But here's a chance. Just wide from Colin. Colin knocking that one just wide and going over the pitch here. A Spectre trying there to clear that one all out the field, going risky with it, but always looked in control of that one. Colin will take over though in the midfield and will push his one aside. Can Spectre get there? No, he can't. Good play by Colin. Lovely shot. 1-0.
Yeah, it's really well played there from Colin. Found the opportunity when he needed to. Spectre just goes for the fake challenge, left himself a bit awkward in the situation that he was. 25 seconds in, and Colin will definitely be delighted to take that opener.
Absolutely. Well, 1-0 the score to Colin. As Spectre here, well, loses the kickoff. Big kickoff for Colin. He's just going to go back, though, and grab that big boost pad and let Spectre have the ball. Now, pressure. Ooh, a bit aggressive there. Spectre will be liking that, though, because if his opponent's being aggressive, that means he could be a bit more aggressive as well and go for those. Oh, what a demo from Colin, though. And that's what Colin's going to try and do a lot. Really take away that boost. EPG.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those disruption plays are going to be the key factor in these 1v1 situations, because if you can demo your opponent, you're not facing anyone else on the pitch for the 3 seconds it takes to respawn, and especially when you're getting them in those dangerous situations, you just find yourself with an open net. And in situations like that, where it could be a 1-goal difference, especially for players like Colin, it's really going to be the difference maker.
Absolutely. Well, Spectre now here going from his own corner. Can't really get much on it, but he's going to go for a... not quite a pogo, but he did land on his wheels, so it can't be considered a pogo. But, oh, Colin smartly there, realizing there was a demo coming in, and he avoided it. Very smart. Colin here playing very smart Rocket League.
Definitely. He seems to have his wits about him in this game. He has his awareness set to a par, and a minute in, or a minute 30 in even, and he still finds himself in the driver's seat. He seems to have a lot more control of the game than Spectre does. There's a shot coming out from him. A Spectre has to smother that one, and it's just really coming into a close game.
It is. It's an absolutely phenomenal game to see. It's not like the Spectre game we saw earlier on where it was high score, and Colin here has been very smart. He's been very aware. He's not rushing the shots either. He's not looking to, definitely get a shot every time. If it works out, it works out. And that works out that time. Colin baits in Spectre, makes it 2-0.
That's exactly the start you would have wanted. Gets a lovely touch off the corner. Spectre forced to make a challenge, and it's a perfect time flick from Colin to send that one over his head. The last resort player getting absolutely rinsed on that occasion. 2 minutes in, and it's 2-0.
Well, very, very fast moving ones game, because not a lot of goals been scored so far. Good attempt at a 50, but Spectre wins that ball. Going back now for some boosts as Colin will cash out the top of his car. Probably the one place he doesn't want it to be, because Spectre will happily do that. And well, that shot is on. It's going to be 3-0. Colin, well, he's proven us all wrong so far. A big, massive lead here.
Absolutely. That's a perfect start from Colin. Just using that awareness to know that Spectre was going to do a backflip there. Sends it straight back into his path. It's a straightforward shot, straight down Route 1. And already we see a third coming out from Colin.
Well, the fundamentals right now are even stopping Spectre having the flashy stuff going, because Colin is just swarming him like a bag of flies every time that Spectre tries to get something fancy going. Colin either gets a bumper demo, but here Spectre just going back to that flashy stuff. Colin trying to be too aggressive, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, it's a lovely 50 there from Spectre. Just plants his foot, stands his ground, makes sure that Colin can't get any kind of progress on that one. Sweeps it in into that bottom left corner and reduces the lead to 2.
Yes, indeed. It is indeed now 3 goals to 1. As we continue on here, and I'm just going to do something very quickly. If you want to take over there, EPG.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming into this game, we've got 2 minutes 20 seconds left. Colin already trying to get himself back in. He's already gotten the goal back that he's just conceded against Spectre, and again, it's that overcommit that we see from Spectre. He's going for the flashy goals. He's going for all of these aggressive plays, and he's just not quite able to recover them quickly enough. Colin will take them all day long, and this, if it keeps going the way it is, gonna be a pretty easy secured spot into this semi-final to face off against Yem. And we can see Spectre going for this flashy play, misses out on it. It's an open net for Colin. He's not gonna miss those. He's gonna lap them up all day long. 2 minutes left on the clock, and it's 5-1 to Colin. Yeah. Again, Spectre just can't quite recover it.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Spectre, but he's trying to go for the flashy plays, and you just can't do that. You know, the one goal he scored, he's gone from playing smart Rocket League. But right now, he's just not able to find that same route. As John has, everyone's joined back now, so but we continue on. Sorry about that, bit of technical issues there going on. Once again, it is Rocket League. The servers happen, right? That's what happens sometimes. The servers just decide to go, nah, not today. But anyway, 5-1 as we continue on here. Spectre getting demoed there by Colin. Colin's got time. He's got the good spawn as well. Oh, the only RNG in Rocket League in this kind of game mode is the spawn, and it works out perfectly for Colin.
Yeah, regardless of where he spawned there, Colin just had complete control of the situation. He got the demo, left him off the pitch, completely destroying any proposition of defense, and a minute 40 left, and might be looking at Brazil here.
Yeah, well, 5 goals, you know, you can never say it's over in ones. I said before, you can lose a game in ones early, but you can't win it early. Oh! Oh, that is disgusting from Spectre. I don't know what he's done here, but that is incredible.
It's a beautiful flip reset from Spectre. He's been trying them all day, but the flick is just so highly projected. The trajectory on that was just completely out of reach of the defense, as Colin will never be able to save that unless he gets a miraculous pre-jump. 90 seconds left, and he's really trying to bring it back here, Spectre. Although this kickoff goal is really not going to help in his endeavours.
I think if there being 3 players in goal, they want to save that Spectre goal. But Colin here, a great kickoff win, and then he puts it home 7-2. And well, the gap back to 5, but the time reduced by about 10 seconds. And that's huge for Colin. 88 seconds left now on the clock. And Spectre needs 5 goals in that amount of time. It's a difficult task.
Definitely, he does have his work cut out for him, but if he keeps going for these plays, it's not the way to go about it. He gets another flip reset straight into Colin. He'll look to bring a bit of a counter-attack back in here, as Colin really just seems to have all the awareness, all the boost being used there from Spectre to get that corner boost. Left with none, he will be forced to retreat. The time-wasting strategy will be brought out from Colin, and rightfully so.
Oh, looking for the cooks, but I'm not going to get it. That's silly, right? Time left on the clock. Spectre's in his own half. Just eat time. Just eat time off the clock. No need to go for shots. No need to be shooting here. You've got a 5-goal lead. It's ones, so, you know, from a kickoff, anything. No, he's just going for the cooks or pinches.
Yeah, I think both players seem to have given up here. They're both out for the cooks here pinches. Spectre knows that he's met his mark, and Colin will be advancing into that next game. Might get to see a cooks here pinch coming out from either of these players, but regardless, the competitive side of this game is well and truly over. The mechanics will be beaten out by the fundamentals. As he goes for a bit of a more mechanical play, the freestyle 1v1 is more what he's going for. He's got some musty double tap there, but 15 seconds left, and Colin will advance to the next round.
Yeah, they're just freestyling right now. They're not even looking. They were looking for pick pinches, but like they said, let's finish off here. Oh, pinch play. Oh, he was trying to do the pinch that Spectre did before, unable to do it. Can Spectre get something going here at the last second, perhaps? He's going to try. Rule 2 being respected here. Love to see it. And he actually is going to try and freestyle it as well. Even more talented. Oh, he just didn't get out the wall metal at all. Can he get this one in? Got the flip reset here. Can he put it in? Oh, no, he can't. Unfortunate. Colin gets the win, though. Well, it's a nice way to finish out a game when you know it's over. It's just a bit of a handshake and just like, yeah, that's a bit of fun. It's nice.
Yeah, definitely a bit more of a sportsmanlike end to that game. Both players realizing, you know what, this is done and dusted. He's not going to score 5 goals, and on the other side, I'm not going to score 5 goals. So they just opted to go for a bit of a freestyle end to it. Nice to see from the 2 players to respect each other in that sense. But 7-2 victory for Colin, and it's definitely something that will give him a bit of a boost going in against Yem, where Yem only won by 1 goal, and that kind of difference could be the, you know, kind of momentum that they really needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to take a very, very short break. We'll be back then with our first semi-final, which will be Ineffable against Shadow, followed by EM versus Colin. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the 12 Titans Season 6 semi-finals now we're in. And this is going to be an F-Bull versus Shallow. And my word, we didn't expect this one to happen in EPG, but this one is tasty.
Yeah, I mean, we could have predicted an Ineffable taking over Jaffa. He's a previous finalist from Season 5 and definitely going to be one of the favourites coming into this matchup. But Shallow just took down Rob Kiernan and definitely bringing in some momentum coming into this game. This is actually a repeat, if I do recall, of the semi-final from Season 4. So these two players have played against each other previously and they will be looking to get revenge on each other, if anything.
Absolutely. Well, Shallow will be looking to take over Ineffable. Ineffable, of course, beat him in that one and then going on to win the finals that season. So he'll be hoping to do this. Hope Shallow will be hoping to beat Ineffable here. And of course, if he does so, he'll be beating two of the greatest ones players in RL Ireland at the minute, which would be absolutely phenomenal. And of course, if he wins, he sets up a guaranteed WRS repeat. Well, essentially what is WRS final replay against either Colin or Yem, who of course beat Shallow and Rob and Halden in the final of WRS. So Shallow has a lot of revenge here tonight. He's got a lot of chances for revenge, and that could be a very good motivator.
Yeah, absolutely. The motivation seems to be the key factor here. He did take over Rob Kiernan earlier, and I'm sure he will be delighted with that. If anything, that could give him enough fuel in the tank to come over here and really take it to Ineffable, who might be a little bit complacent coming into this game. He is facing somebody who maybe he wouldn't have been expecting. He might have been preparing to face off against Rob Kiernan, so he will have to be careful where he puts his cards here and make sure that he plays as well as he would against any other ones player in his own respective rank. But as we do wait for these players to come in, Morky, what do you think is going to be the outcome of this game?
See, that this is where it gets more difficult. Rob Kiernan, I thought, would beat Shallow because Rob Kiernan is very, very good mechanically and also very, very good at getting inside Shallow's head. I thought Shallow would get tilted by demos and bumps. I thought Shallow then would just lose the plot a little bit. Against Ineffable, who likes to play against aggressive players, he's not getting that against Shallow. Shallow is not aggressive. Shallow is very patient. So I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to say Shallow's going to win.
There you go. There's a prediction. I will have to go against you there. Unfortunately, I don't think that Shallow will have enough to overcome Ineffable, who seems to be pretty familiar in these kind of situations. He is a previous finalist of this kind of situation. It is still a best of one, and it's still just kind of gonna have to come down to who will make the least amount of mistakes. It's kind of a common factor that comes against every single time that we see any of these 1v1s where it's just the person who makes the most mistakes will, in the end, lose the game.
See, if this was a series, I would go Ineffable. I think Ineffable takes it 3-1 if it's a series because he just learns how Shadow plays. He exploits the mistakes that Shadow has in today and weaknesses Shadow has in today and wins it easily. And in a best of one, it's a completely different story. It is just pretty much if Shadow plays like it against Rob, I think he can beat Ineffable because Ineffable relies on his opponent make mistakes, or he relies on 50s, or he relies on aggressiveness from his opponents. I mean, that being said, Ineffable is fantastic in his own right at once, and he's more than capable of beating Shadow on his day. I just think Shadow's look really good against Rob. I don't want to bet against him again. That's also the reason. It's 50-50 essentially, but I'm just not betting against Shadow again. That's the reason.
I mean, hopping into game one, we will find out shortly. We've got 5 minutes of regulation Rocket League to play between Shallow in the orange and Ineffable representing that blue side. Morky, take it away, son.
Here we go. Kickoff neutral. Shallow will grab the ball and the boost, but well, there you see the patience ready. Doesn't have to be too aggressive. Knows exactly what Ineffable's looking for the flick over. Nice play. Ineffable will push that one away nicely. Shallow, though, keeping the pressure up. Ineffable smartly grabbing that corner boost and the ball. And he'll have a chance now to attack. Just try to bait Shadow in. But Shadow, of course, such a good defender. And that in ones is so important. The shot on, but Shadow, but it's wide. And that wasn't happening as much in the Rob Kiernan series.
Yeah, the demos will be a significant factor in this game because if you can get your opposition off the pitch, you will have a lot more, of course, possession and time on the ball, and Ineffable use that to regain composure and really make sure you have the best chance possible. Shallow has forced to make a save there a minute ago, and we still have not seen a goal from either of these players, but both looking pretty comfortable, still trying to take the passive approach to this game and make sure that they're not the first to concede the opening goal.
Absolutely. Well, think it's the longest time we've gone so far today without a goal. Maybe the Tomster Danny Boy match was a bit longer, but since then it's been pretty much a goal in the first minute each time. We've gone a little over a minute, but Shadow here, nice play. He's got loads of boost to work with here. Can he get the shot on? Oh, Ineffable try to get back. He won't though. Shadow takes the lead with 1:12 gone on the clock.
That's exactly what he would have wanted coming into this game. The early lead in a best of one. There's no chance after this. If you lose the first game, you've lost it all. You will be going home empty-handed, and a nice little cushion for a Shallow. 1:12 gone on the clock. He hasn't got too long until the next goal will arrive, so he just needs to make sure that he locks up as much as he can.
Well, yeah, well, he'll be hoping to get the next goal himself, not Ineffable. But Ineffable will have different ideas with that as well. Shadow with the shot. Shadow with the bump. Oh, it works out perfectly. Shadow using the physical plays, and that is beautiful.
That's exactly a perfect representation of what a bump will do to a player. Ineffable gets bumped the first time, lands awkwardly, and he just doesn't quite use power slide enough there to bring himself back in time to get a flick. The backflip almost coming out. He doesn't make contact on the ball, and 1:30 gone on the clock. We already see Shallow doubling his lead.
Shadow here could be about to make it 3. Shadow does make it 3. Shadow on top since he scored 3 goals now in 30 seconds. 20 seconds, sorry.
I mean, that's just perfect from him. He could not ask for a better start. Ineffable really just does not seem to be kind of present here in this game. He seems to be coming into this game rather asleep, to say the least, but still a lot of time to come back from. A bit of a steep hill to climb, but Shallow will be looking to secure this one.
Absolutely, and Shadow here is grabbing all those big boost pads as well before Ineffable has a chance to grab them. So Ineffable a bit boost starved. The shot off the crossbar, almost an own goal, but Ineffable survives somehow. The posts finally coming to his rescue this time, and that, oh, what a mistake by Ineffable, and Shadow's gonna make it 4-0.
It's just so clinical from Shallow. He just really has the awareness of what his opponent is doing. Ineffable just playing into his hands. A flick just isn't quite the connection he needs on a 2 minutes gone on the clock, and we see 4-0. 4 goals unanswered here for Shallow.
Well, 4-0 means nothing in ones with so much time left on the clock. It's basically 1-0 in threes with this amount of time left, essentially. As Ineffable with the shot on. Good save by Shadow, though. As well, Shadow now, just be careful here. He's got not much boost to work with. He just wants to be smart about this. He's got that one by. Can he get the shot on? He can. Ineffable with a good demo. But he couldn't get the save. Shadow puts it home 5-0.
Yeah, there's no way Ineffable's going to save that with a powerful shot like that from Shallow. He does get a demo on him, but it will not matter. He goes straight to the boost because he knows what is going to come. Haven't even got the halfway mark, and we've already seen a 5th coming out from Shallow. A person that I myself backed to lose this game has come into this game, and although he will concede this next kickoff and make it 5-1, really looks to be in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. Ineffable, though. Very good kickoff win here. Smart, and that's what he needed. He just needs to get a goal back, restore the confidence a little bit. There's still plenty of time left in this one. He knows that, and he's a very good ones player, so he's still got plenty of opportunities left to really make his mark in this series as we kick off once again. Shadow's won this kickoff this time. Can he get the shot on? Oh, well, Ineffable. Just an awkward touch on it, and Shadow makes it 6-1.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be annoyed with himself there. He didn't just get a pre-flip into it. He did get himself back in time before, so he just can't quite touch it past that left-hand post. And those little mistakes are really what's going to get in his head. We still have not hit the halfway mark in this game, and that just goes to show the floodgates have opened in this game. We've had so many goals in quick succession from Shallow, and he finds himself already in a 6-1 opportunity.
Well, he scored 6 goals in just over a minute and 4 seconds. He had 7 goals scored in a minute and 4 seconds, actually, because, of course, Ineffable scored one too. So, very, very high scoring minute after the first minute and 12 seconds. Didn't bear a goal at all. Shadow now will take over Ineffable here, just going back, trying 50. Shadow just gonna waste time. Shadow's just like, yeah, okay, come on, yeah, I'll waste time. I'm 6-1 up. I've got 5 goals of a lead. I'll waste that happily. And Ineffable here has to be a bit more aggressive, right?
Absolutely, I do have to agree with you. Ineffable has everything to chase here. Shallow's just gonna try waste the time, maybe grab a couple of goals on the way, but Ineffable has it all to do. He needs to make sure that he's really in Shallow's face, not give him enough time as he has been. These kind of plays right here are really gonna decimate him. Shallow looking for the bump, but Ineffable does find it over him. We're just under the 2 minute mark now. Shallow still very much in control.
Yeah, Shadow is good. That's a big demo from Ineffable and Shadow, but my word, Shadow is playing this beautifully. Everything is perfect. Look at that. Oh, what a save. He reads that absolutely perfectly. That's going to be 7-1. Can we get the Brazilian chat, boys? 7-1. Shadow looking like he's on his way to the final and a potential rematch with either Colin or Yem.
That is absolutely perfect playing there from Shallow. He's just doing everything right now. covering out the options, making his car big. No shot, getting past him this time, and 7-1 with 1:30 left.
Absolutely phenomenal performance here. Shallow has taken out perhaps the two favourites for this tournament coming in. Lovely shot from Ineffable. What a save from Shallow, though. Oh my word, two great plays, and Ineffable rightly gets a goal for that, because that was a fantastic shot, but a great save as well.
Yeah, that first touch from Ineffable is just so deadly. Look at that. He just slices it. And it didn't go unnoticed by Shallow either. He says it in chat. What a touch. I mean, you can't argue with that. He just completely slices it, props it up for himself, and an open net. It's definitely deserved. 7-2, 1:20 left.
And Shallow there just slowing that kickoff down a little bit, taking more time off the clock. 5-goal lead, 1:15 left in the clock. It's a safe one, but obviously no lead in ones is truly safe, and that's going to be saved by Ineffable. Very good save. Two good saves now in a row. One from Shallow, one from Ineffable. Ineffable managed to get the ball to the pitch. Ineffable now trying his best here to get by Shallow. Shallow going to challenge in the corner, though, not allowing Ineffable to turn that corner. And Shallow up the pitch. Good 50 from Ineffable, but he's not really getting the ball where he wants it. Shallow just trying to waste more and more time off the clock here now, and that's the wise thing to do, EPG.
Absolutely. He's got 40 seconds left, and all he has to do is keep it away from his net. Ineffable looking to fake the must. He gets a 50 and off the post. That's so unfortunate from him, and it's going to kill so much time off the clock for him. He's still got 5 to get and 30 seconds left. Shallow just needs to keep the ball away from his opponent, and he will secure his place in that grand finals.
Yeah, right now looking very, very confident. 7-2. He doesn't need to make it 8-2 right now. He's going to make it 8-2. Didn't need to, but he did anyway. 23 seconds left. That's surely game over. That's the ice on the cake.
Absolutely. The Barcelona scoreline here in favour of Shallow. It just never really seemed like Ineffable got going in this matchup. He just seemed to find himself behind too quickly, and in the end left it too late to try and make a play on the opposition half. You've got 20 seconds left now and 6-goal deficit. It's just absolutely uncalled for here from Shallow. He's just absolutely unrelenting on the attack, and I'm sure he will have plenty of momentum coming into this final.
Absolutely knocking off two, not one, two former champions of the RLI Titans, and he has managed to do it in absolute style. Ineffable here, I think, would be allowed to get this goal if he wants. No, Shallow's like, no, not today. He wanted to keep the Barcelona score. 8-2, Ineffable, just like Shallow. What a win for Shallow, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that comment from Ineffable really just sums it up. What did you have for breakfast? And he says he's had an Easter egg. That chocolate or the sugar in his system really seems to be doing him justice in this matchup. He's got 8 goals. That's absolutely outstanding from Shallow. He just absolutely outclassed his opponent, just completely outplayed him in every sense.
Absolutely. Well played by Shallow. I said he'd win. I didn't think it'd be that. I didn't think it'd be that convincing. I thought it'd be a very, very close series, but Shallow proved me wrong, even though I predicted him correct, by absolutely just decimating a very, very talented NFL player, former champion of RLI Titans. So, you know what I mean? 12 Titans. So it's absolutely phenomenal. He's knocked off perhaps 2 of the greatest RL Ireland players that in ones ever, and he's trying to put his stamp out on history and say that I am the greatest ones player in RL Ireland history.
We will have our first Season 6 finalist, Shallow, securing his place in at least the top 2 spot right now. And I do have to agree that fun facts with John, Shallow has beaten the previous 2 winners with a combined score of 14 goals to 5. He's got 14 goals in 2 games against all odds. He's come through the whole bracket. He's beaten 2 of the gatekeepers in this bracket. And Morky, he's just outstanding right now.
He is. If he was a scarecrow, he'd be outstanding in this field. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I hate myself. But he's been scary. He's been scary. Yeah, and I feel sorry for Colin and Yem now. They still to play a semi-final, and then they come against that, the man who has been absolutely irresistible. And speaking of Colin and Yem, that is our next matchup, and this one is very intriguing because they're teammates from the Rocket League series, so the Wild Rocket series.
Yeah, this is going to be a good matchup. We had Yem earlier who left it a bit kind of late to take the equalizing goal. He was facing it against Tomster, who, to be fair, played it really well out of his depth. But Yem is looking to face off against Colin, who made absolute meal of Spectre earlier on, utilizing the fundamentals, as we mentioned so much, and really deserved to get here.
Absolutely. Well, both players have been phenomenal so far. Colin, of course, getting the upset over Spectre. Of course, Colin, one of the gatekeepers, so is Yem, both gatekeepers. So they'll be hoping here to, one of the gatekeepers will be in the final against a fellow gatekeeper. So it seems like this year the gatekeepers have been well picked by Enron, it seems.
Absolutely. I mean, these are two players of a serious caliber, especially in the 1v1 scene. They're two players that are very fast on the ball. They have great control when it's in front of them. And to be fair, it's in a position as a defender when you're shadowing and you see either Yam or Colin with the ball on top of their car, you'd really be worried about what they're going to pull out.
Absolutely. They're just both phenomenal players. Colin, probably the more natural striker, which helps so much once we just see the amount of shots he was taking there that were just absolutely well placed. But Yam was really irresistible against his opponent earlier on. Never really gave him much of a chance. Tomster did get close in the end, but Yam always looked in comfortable fashion. But who are you going to go for here, EPG? Who have you got for this one?
I mean, they're going to have to back Yem. He's a player that I've seen plenty of times playing in 1v1s. He so comfortably achieves SSL and ones every time out. But Colin, I don't want to write him off too quickly. He has been performing very well, and especially being in that gatekeeper position, he will be looking confident. So I can't really call her right now. It's got to be close, but I'm going to have to edge it to Yem.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say Colin. I just think Colin is just a very, very natural shooter of the ball. He's so strong. He always looks very, very confident when he's on the ball, very patient as well. So I'm going to give it to Colin, but barely. I think it's going to be very close. So here we go. Kickoff now for game number 1 of 1. Of course, there's only one game. As Colin take the ball up here. Yem trying to 50 with 50, but the ball will stay in his half. He'll grab the ball and the boost and try here to get us an over Colin. No, just going to bait him in a little bit. Try to get some nice play. And early on here, just both players just feeding each other out, EPG.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to start a 1v1 is just find out how your opposition is going to line out with it. If you've got a player that's going to come out with all-out aggression, you're going to have to play your cards right and make sure that you're picking your choices on where you're going to bring the ball with you. But if you're playing against a more passive player, you're really going to have to play the way Yem did it against Tomster and just kind of bait him in, wait for him to make a challenge. And that fake challenge there from Colin is really going to be something that I say will be featured. The shot from Yem trying to make a pass, but Colin puts it off his own post. A minute gone, we still find ourselves goalless.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, because it didn't seem it, because they both went the same way. But it worked out. It worked out very well for Colin. Colin got the shot on, but Yem gets the save. It's Colin now trying to pop this one up, but Yem. I see Colin can't really popping them up like that because Yem is the more mechanical player, and Yem will have an easier time getting to those ones than Colin will. So Colin just has to be more careful. Big demo there, though. Now Harry's got a chance. Can he turn? Where is the spawn? Spawn is kind to Yem there. Colin just rushed that a little bit there, EPG.
Yeah, he's got another demo for his efforts there. He took the shot, not preemptively knowing where Yem was going to spawn, and luckily for Yem, he did actually spawn on the correct side on a more kind of conditional place for him to get a save on that one. Still goalless, and it kind of shows off that both of these players are at a very high level in ones. There's a lovely flick from Colin. Yem makes a save. It's a shot from Colin again. It's just relentless on the shoot, and then it took us a minute 40 to get it, but that will be the opening goal for Colin.
Yeah, and that's what Colin does. He's just so accurate. And look at this, just booms it in. Not much power on that ball either. Yem takes a lot of the pace off that ball, but Colin still, at 92 kilometers an hour, smashes that one into the net. 1-0 to Colin now, and the kickoff here about to get underway. Neutral again. Colin will just knock this aside, grab the boost. Now he can shoot again here. The shot, it's a bit high that time though. And well, doesn't need to go a bit more because Yem will get a goal here shortly. He's a very good player. It's unfeasible to think he won't get one, but he can't save that as Colin makes it 2-0.
That's exactly what you mentioned that Colin will be able to do. He's a straight shooter. He knows where the goals are, and when he can put them between the sticks as consistently as that, Yem just can't quite keep it out. Maybe the wrong flick as he was opting to get a bit of a barrel roll there, but 2 minutes gone. We still find ourselves with Yem chasing this game and Colin comfortably in the lead.
Absolutely, and that's exactly where Colin would like to be. He looked very strong against Spectre, and he's making Spectre chase the game. Oh, good save. Spectre never really looked like he was able to get back in it because Colin seemed to always be in control. So this will be the position that Colin will want to be in. Yem on the other side will not want to be in it. Of course, being former teammates, they know each other so well. That's a lovely flick by Yem, and he's got to pull one back and reduce his deficit in half.
Absolutely. The perfect way for Yem to make a comeback here is by getting a goal early on, repping that bronze tournament tag as we mentioned previously, but Colin just forced to make a challenge there early and not let Yem have as much time, but in the end it didn't make a difference. A lovely flick and 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 as the kickoff again, very important. Yem is going to win it this time. He's going to win it because he gets ball and boost. Colin now has to be careful. There's Yem looking for the flick. He gets it, leap off the post. Oh, that would have been a phenomenal goal. And well, he got saved by the post earlier on and somebody else, but this time not as much. Missing the boost there slightly and having to go back for it, but he had time and space to do so, as now he's carrying the ball, looking to dribble. Good challenge by Colin. Colin here getting a little bit aggressive in those challenges, really diving in, and that's what Yem would like to see.
Yeah, Yem is really timing his boost to perfection here. He had a bit of a miss spawn, didn't quite judge it the first time. He went back and got it, but he perfectly timed the 10 seconds that it took for him to spawn back as he looks to bring himself back into this game. He's 2-1 to the bar, but 2 minutes left. He is looking a lot stronger than he was in previous times. Colin looking to defend for his life.
Yeah, well, not really many shots on for Yem since that nice shot off the post that was unfortunately didn't go in, but Colin here has kind of kept him in midfield, kept him away from his danger area, as Colin there trying to get an attack going, trying to get another goal here, because a 1 goal lead in ones is nothing. It means it's worthless basically until the game's over. And Yem here is going to show why it is worthless, because it's 1-1, it's 2-2 now in the back of the net. Great play from Yem. Don't know what Colin was doing though.
All square here in the stadium. We've got 90 seconds left, and Yem is going to reduce this lead. He was 2-0 down at the start of this game, but he's clawed it back, and he has shown why he is in that top caliber of one's players, and he looks to have a little bit more momentum now than Colin does. Colin seems a little bit shook after that, but he will be looking to claw himself back into this and make sure that he has the best opportunity possible to win this game.
Yeah, Yem there just trying to bait the fake, but Colin actually doing very well, making Yem kind of go a bit more to the side than we would have liked. Nice play, well looking. Oh, well. Oh, here's a chance. Oh, well, they're just faking each other out now in the midfield. And Colin, off the back over this fight out nicely. Will Colin puts it in very well. Yem diving in desperately, but couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, he's just biding his time, isn't he? He's just waiting for the 50, making Yem second guess everything. And although Yem found himself with a lovely recovery to get himself back in time, he just got a lovely preemptive jump straight into that one. And just perfect play there from Colin. 3-2. Colin
has a lead, 65 seconds left, but yeah, around this time now, 1 goal lead actually starts meaning something. But again, it's still 1, so anything can happen. Oh, Yem's shot just goes a bit over the crossbar and post. He was looking for the top ins there, didn't quite find it. Colin just pushing this one away. Nice play, not boosted the spawn though. He's waiting for the spawn. Does spawn now? Yem looking for the shot, but he couldn't really get anything on it. Well, it's a bit awkward now, but here player able to really take this one by the scruff of the neck. It's wide again. Getting a bit scrappy now, EPG.
Yeah, no, the M is going to be disappointed. That's 2 missed opportunities for him there. He's got a bit of control now. Looks to get a little bit of a hook shot. Forces Colin to make the save. This was going to be dangerous for him now. A shot from Colin. He will get back in time, but Yem is really chasing the game right now. He has missed that opportunity to level it up. He's got a flick now to use. He gets a lovely flick. It's off the post straight away from him. He's got 15 seconds out to recover. He does get it back. The speed, the recovery, and the turn from Yem will be too much and levels it up with 12 seconds left.
Yeah, well, it's deserved. You know, he had so many shots that just weren't quite placed properly, but that time it was. Colin being a bit too aggressive. Perhaps should have been aware there that Yem was in a kind of an awkward position there. Couldn't really do much apart from either push the ball to the side or have the shot. He was just maybe a bit of adrenaline going to the head there, realizing that Yem may have had a chance to finish. And Yem could win it here. Colin gets the dunk though. Can Colin get down in time? He's trying to get up here. Can the shot be in? No, it's off the crossbar. We'll see overtime.
What a save from Yem, pinching that one out. Gets a saviour medal for his efforts as well. In the dying moments, makes sure that he does not lose it to a buzzer beater goal. And Colin now found himself a rather awkward. Yem got the boost, but gets down one for his efforts. Colin has a free ball to work with now. He is going to opt to go back for the booster. He leaves it in the middle. Yem will be lurking somewhere in the midfield, waiting for this one. He does get a shot off, but Yem puts it back into the corner 20 seconds in, and it's already action-packed here.
Yeah, very, very interesting few seconds here. Yem trying to bait in Colin, but Colin playing smart right now. Yeah, oh, Colin's put that one in. Colin's going to get the win. Colin is going to face Shallow in the final of the 12 Titans Season 6.
That's exactly what Yem would not have wanted. He was waiting in the corner, expecting to touch straight into that corner there, but it just didn't quite come for him. It went straight over his head, and Colin will gladly take that one. Leaves already in preparation, going to get some free play in for the next game. But that's just really well played there from Colin. Yem almost had him outclassed there at the end, but in the end, Colin was just a bit too much.
Well, that sets up our final. It is going to be Shallow against Colin. And it is a Very interesting match, obviously, because these two players met as part of teams in the WRS, the Wild Rocket Series, monthly number 2. Colin came out on top with Dog with a Log in a very, very intense series, winning a 4-2. Great final. Me and Nua had a great time commentating on it. But this one, me and you, EPG, are going to have a great time casting this one as well, because this one is spicy.
Absolutely. Shallow is going to be coming off 2 massive victories to get himself in here. And now Colin overcoming Yem, being in that gatekeeper position, is going to be looking to take this one home. I can't even get a prediction for this one because I just can't see who will take this one over. It's just so close and going to be really tightly matched from these teams.
It definitely is. This is... it's a weird one, right? Because on one end, you've got Shallow, who's just so mechanically good, but also Colin, who's got such good situational awareness. And then the other end, you've got Colin, who's a great shooter. I mean, like, obviously, up to the pitch. Colin, who's a great striker. And then Shallow, who's perhaps one of the, Colin, probably one of the best strikers in All Ireland. And then you've got Shallow, one of the best goalkeepers in All Ireland. So, it's really interesting. They're both so similar and also so different. It's not a clash of styles per se. It's a clash of who can execute their strengths better.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen plenty of mistakes being shown. As a perfect example of that is Yem in that previous game. He just had a bit too much left for himself to do. He was leaving himself in awkward positions. He was finding himself in corners and all these kind of things that will add up in the end. And Colin, being that kind of precise shooter that he is going to take them all day long, and securing himself a final spot is definitely the perfect way to do it. Facing off against Shallow, he's beaten Rob. He got a DQ against Keane in the first round, and he also beat Ineffable earlier on this evening. So both players are going to have some serious momentum coming into this game. It's going to be absolute 2 trains coming into each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Shallow, the only player left who is not a gatekeeper. Colin, of course, is a gatekeeper, so interesting to see, will the gatekeeper win this one, or will it be the player who is the only one left who has had to qualify all the way through? Can he be the man to topple Colin, to topple what Enron was trying to put in front of everyone? It'd be interesting to see. We're just waiting for the players to try, of course, give them a little bit of time, give them a little bit of a break, just so they can recover a bit easier, which is exactly what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, based off your opinion, what do you think is maybe the key mistake that people are making? Is it the positional plays, or is it just kind of straight whiffs?
I think it's just being too aggressive. That's what I've seen so far today. Players have been a bit too aggressive. It is difficult, right? It is extremely difficult in ones to not be that aggressive. To really just back off a little bit. But unfortunately, they have kind of been a bit too aggressive at times, the players, and it's interesting to see how it will go. Got to hope that the players here really show up and show out for this one. This should be an absolutely fantastic series. We're very, very excited for it, obviously. And here we're waiting for the players to join now. But yeah, I think it's just been aggressiveness. What about you? What do you think's been the biggest mistake today by players?
I think the over aggressiveness is sometimes kind of hand in hand with just kind of sitting in the wrong positions. We've seen plenty of shots going in where players were kind of just in the wrong spot to defend them. They're finding themselves tracking back desperately to try and keep it away, and we've seen them featured in almost all of the games between earlier on and this evening. And when you're putting yourself in positions where you need to use all of your boost to recover, and you won't have enough boost to get back to the second shot, it's really just going to be way too awkward to defend, and in turn, you're just going to concede way too many goals.
Absolutely, yeah. The position has also been an issue. I don't think we've seen too many whiffs today, though. I think in general, players have been very solid in terms of hitting the ball. They've been very good at, trying, figuring out what they want to do and executing on it mostly. So it's been very good in that regard. There's not been many whiffs at all. So that's always a positive. It shows that the quality of Rocket League in Ireland or in Ireland is very good, because if they're able to, think what they want to do and then execute on it, it just shows that they're very, very talented players.
Absolutely, and that's the quality that they're looking to kind of bring out in these kind of tournaments, and I'm delighted to have the privilege to be able to cast it. We wait for the players to join in. We have a 1v1 matchup in this final, and if I'm not mistaken, it's still a best of one. This is one game that will put it all to the test. Everything that they've played for all day today and through the qualifiers comes down to this. Will we see Shallow, the underdog, after taking down 2 of the top dogs in this competition, be out the gatekeeper, or will we see Colin really bring it back to Shallow?
And of course, we are guaranteed a new champion this year. So it's going to be interesting to see who does get the win this year. Shadow or Colin, 2 players who have been, really, really at the forefront of Rocket League Ireland, RL Ireland recently, Rocket League in Ireland in general. Shadow obviously day 3 player in regionals. Colin obviously winning the Rocket League, the Wild Rocket Series. So they've both been, really, really big parts of RL Ireland over the last few months. Shadow obviously as well winning the first Rocket Series. Wild Rocket Series as part with a different team. Yeah, that was her name, Team. So it'll be interesting to see, but the both players are in the lobby now, so hopefully we can start starting very, very soon.
Absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to see this matchup. Shallow and Colin. We've got the go ahead from John in the background. It's all to play for both of these teams. We've got 5 minutes of Rocket League. Take it away, Morky.
Yeah, well, Shallow versus Colin. Winner will be the 12 Titan winner, the Titan of Royal Ireland 1's player. And Shallow will get the first goal with 10 seconds gone. Last time in both games, it took a minute for the first goal to go in. This time, it's taken just under 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's a lovely touch from Shallow, putting it straight back into the middle for himself. 10 seconds in, that's a perfect start he was looking for. He did it all throughout this series. He's finding himself in the lead again. He did it against Ineffable, and he's looking to do the same against Colin.
Yeah, absolutely. Big kickoff there, win for Shallow as well. And just control this one, grab the small boost pads, and that's something that I've noticed Shallow do a bit more. He's content enough not to go for the big boost pads, just get the smaller ones, and and ones that could be extremely vital. What a save by Colin! Can Shallow turn on this? No, he can't. And Colin's just got to put that one in and make it 1-1.
Yeah, that's not quite what Shallow was looking to do there. He looked to get the fake in making shot of Colin there, but unfortunately the pre-flip from Colin was straight into him. He should have just shot it, to be honest. He could have doubled his lead there 30 seconds in, but in turn it will be brought back to wall square, and these players are going to reset and go again.
Well, it's gone from a 5-minute game to a 4.5-minute game because it's all level again. So we just wasted 30 seconds on the clock to be in the exact same position that we were 30 seconds ago, which is good. Colin moving the ball forward here, trying to get something going. Drops the boost here, just trying to bait in Shallow. Shallow though, just being patient, and that's what I was talking about. Situational awareness from Colin versus the patience that Shallow has. Sorry, the patience Colin has versus the situation awareness Shallow has, and Shallow showing it there, being very situationally aware. Colin looking for a 50 to get the dunk, couldn't quite manage it, but it's a very interesting battle of those styles right now.
Absolutely, and Shallow looking to get one past Colin. He's got 100 boost to work with now. Pops it up high, opts to leave. This one goes again, trying to get it past Shallow. It's a lovely 50, and he is forced to chase this one with no boost. Shallow also with no boost in the tank. Will up to leave this one. This one could roll in. Colin has to make it back, and that is a dreadful mistake, leading that one in. It's 2-1 now to Shallow.
Well, we mentioned whiffs at the start of the program, start of this final. We said there hadn't been many so far. I think we cursed it. As that one just rolls in 2-1. Shallow will take it though. Shallow will take it happily. He puts himself back in the lead. Minute and 18 seconds left, gone off the clock now as the kickoff. Well, won by Shallow. Shallow now. Colin going back for that corner boost. Shallow's shot not as accurate as it could have been, but Colin was defending it well anyway. Big booming shot from Colin, but those long range shots aren't going to beat someone like Shallow, EPG.
Absolutely, he's been a player that has got significant prowess in between the sticks. He seems to be very comfortable when he is in the net. This one could be dangerous. Speaking of in the net, it's straight back down the other end for Shallow, and Colin is really fighting against himself here.
Yeah, well, it's Colin there. He's reversing rather than half flipping, you know what I mean? And reversing at ones is just a suicide ladder, basically. It's just saying, come on, attack me. I'm open. And that's exactly what happened there. You're reversing, and Shallow's like, okay, I'll take this one to the bank. And he does indeed. 3-1 now, and Colin just has to recompose here, to regain, because right now he's in a bit of an awkward situation. Big demo from Shallow. That's not going to help, and that one's going to be 4-1 surely. Yes, it is. And Shallow here is starting to get on top.
It's such a similar position we find ourselves than Shallow versus Ineffable. He's doing the same thing against Colin. He's getting himself an early lead, and then he's just going to start to tick away at that clock, just chip away at all the time that's left for Shallow, or for Colin, to make any kind of a comeback, and he just really seems to be in charge right now.
Absolutely. Well, 4-1 right now, and we'll continue on. Colin, there's still plenty of time here, potentially, to get back in this one. So, it's not over yet. It is once a 3-goal lead with 3 minutes to go. Plenty of time, but it's going to be a 4-goal lead now. Shorty has Colin being a bit too aggressive there, and Shallow puts it home.
Yeah, that's not the way you defend when you're down like that. You need to make sure that you play your cards right from now on, and that is exactly how you don't do it. Not even the halfway mark. We find ourselves 4 goals in the deficit for Colin, and he's really going to have to chase this game.
He definitely is going to chase more, and that's what Shallow likes. Big kickoff win for Shallow. It's going to be 5 goals now, surely. Yes, it is, and Shallow is running away with this. What a performance it has been from the man from Kildare.
That is a brilliant execution of the kickoff off the sidewall, straight into his path, and there's no missing that. The Kildare man will take a 5-goal lead, and he's really looking to defend it right now.
He's just so confident. He looks so strong. Big kick of in though for Colin. Colin will grab one back here. Sure, no, Colin gets bumped by Shallow. Very smart play. And Shallow will just be aggressive right now, just wasting time off the clock. And Colin here will have to be more aggressive now than he would probably like, but he was too aggressive beforehand. That allows Shallow to have his lead. Shallow, what a little cut shot, but well denied by Colin on the backboard. There's no power on it, obviously. As Colin will move forward here, try to get a shot on. Lovely shot. Shallow there again, though, with a save. And you have to be a bit more creative to get it by Shallow.
Absolutely, and that one is all the way down Route 1. It's so disappointing for Colin. Everything he tries just could be an absolutely counter-attack. Just everything is just counter-measured by Shallow right now. He's got 7-1 of Brazil, and we haven't even hit the 2-minute mark yet. It's just completely textbook from Shallow as he looks to take this one home with him.
Absolutely. Indeed, 7-1. The Brazil has come out again for the second game in a row for Shallow, by the way. He got a Brazil and then Barcelona. So, but right now here, 7-1, and Colin just, he has to really find a goal now here soon. If he wants to come back, 2 minutes left, still time, 6 goals. I know it's a long way to come back from, but it is ones. We've seen weirder things happen in ones before, and someone... It's even 6 goals, and Colin gets that one in beautifully, finally getting it by Shallow, 7-2.
A perfect shot there from Colin. That's the shooting prowess that we all know he loves to use. Shallow found himself on the backboard, a bit too far away from the net that maybe he would have liked. Given a nice shot in there, recognizing how well that he did to get that shot on. Perfectly placed shot, and he reduces the lead to 5.
Yep, it's just a 5-goal lead now. The kickoff here, that's gone his way as well. Trying to bait Shallow in here. Shallow, though, just gonna stick happily. And, well, Colin had to stick our twist there. So did Shallow. Shallow stuck pretty well. Colin there missing the boost again, and just those little mistakes are starting to creep into Colin's game in this series, and maybe it's the nerves, EPG. It's just a bit of nerves. Yeah,
he's done very well to get here. He's beat EM by a goal in the end. There's going to be a fake from him. This one could be dangerous. Shallow taking a banger of a shot down the middle. Colin can make it back, and it's a similar scoreline, almost actually identical to what we've seen. We still have 80 seconds left on the clock.
Yep, Ineffable went 7-1 down against Shallow, then pulled it back to 7-2, and then Shallow made it 8-2, and that's how the score ended. But there was a lot less time on the clock when that 8-2 went in than there is now, and Shallow is looking like he's on his way here to victory, to becoming an RLI 12 Titan champion. And it's been a phenomenal performance. I mean, he's beaten some of the best players in Ireland today in ones, and absolutely deserved. I know it's not over yet, but I think it is all over by the shouting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Colin is just clutching at straws right now. He has to do what he has to do to try and make something happen. He's only got 50 seconds left. It's a lovely shot, but Shallow has it all covered. He's just wearing down the time. He's doing what he needs to do. Exactly how a contemporary game of ones in Rocket League would usually go. It's almost sneaking in there from Shallow as just everything for Colin seemed to go against him in this game, and Shallow will be delighted that it is a best of 1, and that all the hard work that he's put in this game will, of course, reward him with that top champion title.
Well, Shallow today has scored 22 goals. He's conceded 7 so far. It has been a absolutely dominant performance by the man from Kildare, and you know he's definitely starting to peak in his career right now. He's still got more to go. He hasn't nowhere near his peak yet, but he's definitely finding that thing now that can make him eventually one of the greatest players in the world. Never mind just Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good kind of skill to have. Being good in 1v1 is definitely something that not many people have in the arsenal, but coming up against a player like Colin, and if you're scoring that many goals against a player of this caliber, it's just, he really deserves it at this rate.
Absolutely. Well, your champion of the RLI 12 Titan Season 6 is Shallow. He beat Rob in the quarterfinals, beat Ineffable in the semifinals, and then has beaten one of the gatekeepers, Colin, in the final to make his way all the way through and to become champion of ones for RL Ireland. That is going to do it for us today. Make sure as well that you sign up for the Wild Rocket Series. That will be opening soon for the April 25th. Of course, €120 prize pool, but of course, all those important points for the major. It'll be monthly 3 of 6, and then of course we'll have the major at the end of June, so make sure you do sign up for that. And then also make sure you follow RL Ireland on Twitter, on Instagram, and as well you make sure you're in the Discord, !mark socials in the chat. That is going to do it for us tonight. From me, from EPG, and from Rez, and as well big thank you to Squid, big thank you to Squid of course for doing production, big thank you to John for organizing all this, big thank you to Enron, Dave, all the staff of RL Ireland for all this. Thank you for having us as well. Thank you for tuning in. Most importantly, the Twitch crowd, thank you for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate it. I'm sure the lads appreciate it too. But for now, it's us signing out. Good night.